This next episode of the Community Workbench podcast is brought to you by yours truly, Matt Norn of Remax Bell Park Realty. For all of your real estate needs, commercial, residential, anything, give me a call, 860-428-6534. Your dreams are my job. Welcome to the Community Workbench. This is Matt Norn and Kyle Morrissey. We are your host of the number one podcast in my basement. Every week, we bring you small businesses, entrepreneurs, community leaders, charities, pretty much whoever we feel like talking to. And today, we feel like talking to Adam Rondo, the owner of Chubby Dog Coffee. Adam, how are you?
What's going on, dude? Thanks for having me. That was a beautiful read, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It sounded real smooth.
There was no sarcasm in that at all.
I meant that.
Thank you. I try to get better at it. It's definitely a skill that has to be honed.
I think you said my name while having to read it instead of just looking at me like, and this is Adam Rondo.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Chubby Dog Coffee. You want to just kind of give us some background on you and what led up to? Hey, I want to own my own business.
Well, it was supposed to be a retirement plan. I used to do radio prior to this, and I didn't know what that industry was, obviously. I thought there was a chance to have lucrative opportunities, and I thought I would have that, and over, like, maybe let's say 25, 30 years, I'd be super successful, and my show would be huge, and I'd humbly retire at that point and open up a coffee shop, which would be also successful, because everyone's like, you're the guy from the radio that we love. I'm like, yeah! So, and then I'd ease my way back into radio when the coffee shop took off. And then I got fired a bunch of times and just had the right chance, right support group that were like, hey, you want to do your coffee shop now? And I was like, well, I guess I do, because I keep getting fired. And my wife wasn't too keen on the idea of like, let's move to a new city every 2 years, because I can't hold the job down here. So, yeah, eventually we, both my wife and I are born and raised here in the area, so... there used to be a small coffee shop in town that had a roaster that I was curious about the details of, because I was going to open my own shop somewhere probably in like Maine or New Hampshire, and I was stuck between two roasters, and I called them up and I was like, why'd you pick that one? And we got to talking, and he goes, well, what if we want to sell the business? And I was like, wow. That'd make my life so much easier, because I don't know how to start one. So we met on a number finally, and my wife and I moved back up from Virginia 4 years ago now. Wow. And we've been cruising ever since. So it was all a complete COVID mishap, because I got fired because of COVID, which in radio wasn't real. They just didn't like me. But they used COVID. Great excuse for radio to go, we are firing everyone we hate, and we're going to say it's COVID's fault. And I was sadly on the chopping block. So after that, we bounced back up here, and Chubby Dog's been going good ever since.
Now, I've only known you for like 40 minutes at this point. I don't understand. I would love to have your personality on the radio.
Well,
is there a reason like they just like?
I don't know. No, I didn't.
Crazy.
I made fun of them a lot, and I made fun of like the idea of corporate radio was I think the thing that I didn't ever fit into. My voice isn't. It's not radio. I hear me. I have headphones on. It's not great.
You have a TV voice?
No, I don't. I could maybe do cartoon voice work, maybe. But like. It was so, you fed to your advertisers. That was radio. Like talent, original content, they didn't care about that. As long as you did something that was safe, that nobody would complain about, as long as you made everybody happy, never gonna happen.
Yeah.
Then advertisers would buy ad space, and that's how corporate radio sees you as a success. I was not that guy. I would make fun of things. I would make fun of other radio stations, which, I mean, to even say another set of calling letters on the air, oh my goodness, all your listeners are going to go over there now. It's like, that's not real.
Right.
That's not how it works. But
yeah. I feel like the podcast world is definitely proving that all wrong.
Exactly.
People want the authenticity and whatnot.
That's what people look for, and they can't get that. It's just not. It's people who haven't seen a radio studio since the 80s, and they still think they can run it that way, and it's like, it's not radio.
You were ahead of your time.
I was a trailblazer. Bringing radio back to life. It's like seeing the Titanic as it's sinking, going like, I'm going to go on a cruise right now with that boat. That was pretty much how it felt like. And it's,
That's funny.
Yeah, it sucked. It was rough.
Although Kyle and I can't seem to sell any ad time.
Surprise, surprise. we are
is fine.
we are almost up to 550 followers though.
Nice.
All right, Chubby Dog will give you $20 right now. Leave that up for a new day.
Another day? We can leave it up through Tuesday in my basement.
Yeah. With no camera on it and not on the internet.
Should have definitely put out the rules a little harder.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, I love this though. Like honestly, I wish I'd had more of the drive and the money back when I was still on the air to start something like this, because I mean it's where it's going. It's
Yeah.
anyone that gets in a radio now and thinks I'm gonna get broadcaster, I'm like, cool, have fun never making money and never having a permanent house, because you're never
Yeah, it is funny because I used to have quite a commute actually from Plainfield to Woodstock, and I would listen to shows for those years, and even back then, this was back in 2002, whatever, when I started working as a carpenter. There you would see personalities come and go on the same morning show. You know what I mean? Like all the time. It was like something that there's very few of them that stayed consistent.
It
They
was-
get stale.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well
they
that too.
Change it up.
And it's like, things like, for me, it was always WAAF up in Boston.
Oh,
I used to
right.
love the Hillman Morning Show. Opie and Anthony were the reasons I got into radio, thinking you could still do that stuff on the air. And then I got there and they were like, well, no, you can't swear. You can't make any dirty jokes. And everything that you just said you want to do, never going to happen. I'm like,
Right.
okie dokie.
Yeah.
But like, those shows were huge. And
Yeah.
it's like, that's what was, you could never convey that to a radio boss. Like, remember how much millions they made? Well, see how we're not? See the difference? Do you see what the key, what's the
Right.
key thing missing here? They never
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah, I remember Hillman always talking about how like you have to bring it to that line, but he didn't want to do satellite radio because that's like cheating, because then you can do whatever you want, swear and all
Yeah,
those things. But he was like, that's what he said. He was like, it's more fun as an art form to bring it to that line, that ceiling that they had for censorship or whatever it was, and then not cross that line.
Yeah, make
where-
your listeners cross it in their own head.
right.
Get
yeah,
them to the
stuff
edge
like
and go,
that.
right? You should
Yeah,
jump. And they go,
yeah.
yeah. And then they do.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, satellite, I mean, good for him for having that level of artistic integrity. I wouldn't have. If satellite called, like, hey, you want to just say the F-bomb over and over again? I'm like, yeah, I do. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, and there's definitely a place for that, and satellite kind of broke that ice, and then podcasting just kind of like took off with it.
Yeah,
Now you
and
can see
it's-
anything on podcasting, and then they have podcasts that are just dedicated to like watching videos and commentating on the videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, but even for podcasting, they still censor. Like Joe Rogan gets censored and had to have an editor to get rid of some of
So
that
sad,
stuff.
so dumb.
It's not serious, that's for sure.
Yeah,
right?
Well,
Like
even
it's not
them,
like that's why Howard Stern went there.
Yeah.
You know.
initially. I mean, his show is nothing like it ever used to be. Now.
No.
He's even apologized for some of the stuff he said. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, you
Yeah.
know you don't mean it. Why are you saying this?
Yeah.
So it's like,
They pay him millions of dollars to
oh
stay.
yeah, that's right. That's right. I would also sell out. I forget.
Yeah, I would say the platforms go on these ebbs and flows as to
Yeah.
how much they censor and how much they're trying to,
Well, to me
keep the
too, it's
viewership up.
like they have all these levels, just like they do for TV and movies. If you want to be a rated R podcast,
Right. Just
let
have
them
a-
be a rated R
or- yeah.
podcast.
Would think.
You can filter it on all these devices for your kids so they don't see it, or they cut out that word.
right.
Don't hire the
Yeah.
R-rated content and then get mad when they do the R-rated content you hired them for. That's what you hired them for.
Right.
Let it happen.
Yeah, Spotify seems to just let anything go, but they're a German company.
They let us on there, so that's
yeah, yeah, we're so
High standards.
we're so
Spotify.
racy.
it's not about race or vulgarity. They just let us on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
like,
was
you wanna
one of the
upload-
free platforms. That's why we're on.
If you do all the work, sure, we'll host you for a little while. Knock yourself out.
Right? Yeah, that's exactly what
Yep,
it was.
yep.
We're on Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram.
Well, Instagram doesn't.
We just advertise a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, we have
ourselves.
posts. Yeah,
we just have
and
a presence.
Apple's complicated, so we aren't there.
Yeah. But the Apple doesn't charge. It's just
No,
complicated.
Apple doesn't charge nor host the podcast. So
Yes.
Spotify hosts. So Apple, you have to use a third party vendor to host your podcast, and then you have to give Apple an RSS feed. If you don't want to give them the RSS feed, it's like $20 a month.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about RSS feeds, but even those third-party vendors do cost money to host. So
It's an Apple thing. It's
yeah,
I'm super.
we
glad
can make it
have
a goal.
We have
you
a
know.
good tech.
Oh, you don't care about it. You don't care about Apple, but I think that's a great goal to get on have an Apple podcast. But you were tickled to just have it on Spotify.
Oh yeah. Whenever I saw the Community Workbench logo right next to Rogan, Nate Land podcast, and all that, like, I know it was my feed, and it like.
Or you're like, I made it.
I was taking screenshots and sending them to Kyle. I'm like, look it.
Not to brag, we're pretty much the same. Just like how- I know we don't have Elon Musk smoking weed, but we do have the guy that owns Chubby Dog. So, we're
Nailed
pretty
it.
much, yeah.
Nailed
right
it.
there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about Chubby Dog?
Oh yeah. Let's-
So the Putnam location has a full game room.
Full game room, full of all my old video game consoles from when I was just a wee boy, and they still somehow work. So,
So they were all yours.
they were most of them. So some of them got broken because humans.
None of mine exist.
Really?
I only had the Nintendo from '85.
Awesome.
I know.
Me
We
just-
had it for a long time, but
Remember, like how when it didn't work, if you just hit the sides of it
Yeah.
and then you
Oh,
put
we
the
had
power
a-
button again,
I
it's like
still have
had
it
a whole
in my house.
routine.
Actually, my kids were wondering why I was blowing in the game, and I'm like,
kids today.
yeah.
not even realizing they had no clue that this is the
Yeah,
only
like,
way
this
to
is
get
normal.
how
Like,
it works.
Yeah, my friends and I knew that if you hit it once and it didn't turn on, you just went, hold on, and it just popped. There's the game. But yeah, so the game room is all just free play consoles. The rule is just buy something. Some people do take advantage of that, and they're like, I'll buy a water for $1, and then I'll sit here for 5 hours and just burn through your electricity bill.
Right.
So I made some mistakes with that one, making it so accessible. The second location will be a little more arcade, like put money in to play the game ish.
Yeah.
And
Some free
you have a
plays.
bouncer that checks
Yeah.
the receipt to make sure that you
Yeah, I'm gonna double as the owner and the bouncer. Apparently, just walk up with sunglasses on like Morpheus and go, "What are you doing?" So yeah, the Putnam one now, it is all free play still. Xbox 360 is I think the newest one that we have there. PS3s all the way down to the original GameCube, stuff like that. So we just try to encourage like, hey, here's a cool place to hang, and if you don't drink, I guess this will also be fun for you because Putnam really is more of a drinking town. Not that I haven't tried to get into that. The town didn't let me. I wanted to,
Okay.
but since I can't, I'm like, well, then I guess we'll embrace what we have. So like Thursday nights we have what's called Nerd Night. So it's just we invite anyone and everyone to come hang out. All the games are on. There's a bunch of board games. We got a Magic group that comes play Magic the Gathering. We got
self-proclaimed nerd, or you need a card.
card.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
oh, yeah, we
Oh.
carded them.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. If your glasses aren't at least 3/4 thick, we go, get out of here, folks. We got a real stringent system. But yeah, it's just, coffee shops, when I was but a wee boy, I used to go to Victoria Station when that was a thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they didn't have like the game room and stuff,
Yeah.
but the idea of like a coffee shop to me was always that like, hey, it's a communal place that you just kind of all hang out.
Yeah.
And I feel like Putnam, when Victoria Station left, that kind of left with it. And so at the time, I was just lucky enough to be there, and I was like, hey, I'll fill the void because what else can I do with this place? And then we expanded to the game room side, and it took off. So I'm thrilled that people actually enjoy kind of what we did with that, and people rent it out. They do events there, and we have groups that just come and meet up regularly. We had a D&D group every Saturday that comes in. So
I've
it's
seen
starting to really grow into kind of what I was hoping it would be. It just took 3 years to.
Yeah, I applaud you for doing that because to open a space that costs you money, but you get nothing back from a customer per se, right?
Right.
But it did, it brings us
It's
in all the
entertainment,
time,
yeah.
and I think that's incredible to do that, to try and grow the community and bring people into your shop.
Yeah, and again, it was kind of the goal with it was just bring that feeling back to Putnam, you know. And I mean, people that are not drinkers or, like I said, underage who want a place to go.
Right.
Here's your outlet. Come hang out, meet people, hang out. No one cares what you do here. Just enjoy, have fun. So
Or steal a game console.
just the one time. And wait, I will say, normally I hate the internet, but did it work? It's magic on finding that guy.
I don't know this story. I don't know.
No?
Story. Yeah, tell it.
So a PlayStation 3 was stolen from the shop blatantly. Cameras everywhere, all over the shop. And 3 came in, and they were very clearly planning to do it the whole time. And finally, he unplugged it, puts it in his backpack, and they hang out for like 30 minutes, knowing
wow.
full well in that
Haven't
backpack.
purchased anything either.
No, they did.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, they made up for it. Don't worry. One of them bought a latte. And,
Perfect.
yep. So they do that. They leave. The next morning, I come in and I walk in the game room. I'm like, this is curious. There's just cords dangling off of a table. And I go to my employee. I'm like, hey, where'd the PS3 go? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, okie dokie. Go back to the cameras, and there it is. Guy just steals it. So I take some screen grabs and some videos, put it up on the socials, thinking, of course, people are going to be like, you shouldn't shame people. And instead, we did get 2 people that did that. Of course. There's always going to be
Someone that's upset.
There's a guy, yeah. I know.
Was it the one that took it?
Well, we don't have the California rules where if it's under $900, you go free.
Really? No. PS3s are collectibles now, and they're worth $1,000. So screw you, California. So I post. It gets shared everywhere. WNY takes it, and then
Nice.
they run with it for a second. And the next day, some a counselor from this group, it was some group home thing for like troubled teens or whatever the hell it is. He comes back and he just puts this bag, like a Target bag, like a reusable Target bag, on my counter. And goes, I think one of my kids took this. I'm like,
Wow.
yeah, he did. That was mine. He goes, yeah, sorry. I'm like, okay, okay. Like I didn't know. Yeah, I don't know. You're just dumbfounded in the moment.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
all right. So the kid learned nothing, by the way, because it's like you should have made him come do this and
Right.
At
beg
least.
for
And
forgiveness.
At
Yeah.
least, yeah.
At the very
And buy another latte.
at least one or a bottle of water like the rest of them. We have Mountain Dew. Nerds love that. So he just drops it off and he goes, "Yeah, my bad," and leaves. Never heard anything back ever again. Obviously they've been banned, but I don't know what any of the other kids in that group home look like. For all I know, they've all been going there and like, "Hey guys, by the way, no one watches you when you're in there. just take a few games." So yeah, we had a PS3 stolen one day. Discovered the next and returned on the 3rd day.
Nice.
And yeah, it went off. I couldn't believe how well social media actually worked in our favor.
Right.
Yeah, that's
And
awesome.
they, the community, people
Yep.
sharing. So that's good.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
a good
sharing-
positive thing for the community.
Yeah, because that is how it got to it. Was like some people that work for that same organization recognized the kid that stole it and was like, oh, and then they started messaging everyone internally and they're like, hey, so I think we gotta do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then yeah, the guy came back and was just like, yeah, my bad. Sure.
It is your bad. Was it your child that you were watching over?
So yeah, so of the 3, 2 of them were students, I guess. I don't know what the term is.
Yeah.
The participants of the group home, and the other one
Residents?
was the staff.
Oh.
The staff member
Oh,
was the
Was
guy
with them.
telling the kid, like, I mean, I couldn't hear the audio clearly, but was like kind of on watch, was telling the kid like, now's the now, and like group saw it, knew he was
Oh,
doing it
wow.
whole time.
Wow.
going
that's
down.
unfortunate.
Yeah, pretty gross. It was pretty gross, but
that's
it's
tough.
part of the risk. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Right. It's just tough when you hear like a story like that. Like they had an inside guy. You know what I mean? It's a staff member.
yeah, like it just. I felt like I was part of a conspiracy. I was like,
It's like the staff, the student. Can you imagine? I work for a place, and me and my students went and robbed a joint together.
and then, like I would have to imagine they went back to like the dorms and they plugged it in and they played it that night and they were like,
Right.
this is great. This
Yeah.
game rules
Yes.
because we didn't buy any of it. It's just a free PS3.
Right.
But
Yeah, but you look at, I mean, how long has the gaming bar been open? The gaming side.
March of 22, I believe.
Right, so we're coming up on 2 years. You only had one
One
incident of that,
One.
and everything in that room is free. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty wild, yeah.
Notice nobody takes the deck of cards, the really large Uno cards.
Not once. There's still dust on them. I'm like,
Ah,
Those are cool,
no,
too.
I played the large Uno cards the last time I was there.
Alright, fair.
I did dust them off. But I did play.
They've been untouched for a while. You're the only fingerprints on them currently. Yeah, because even
Funny.
some of that, like, I do get nervous because there are, like, I try not to keep some of the high-value games up there, but
Yeah.
I'm also like, well, but everyone wants to play Mario Kart. Everyone wants to play Smash Bros. Like, you want to
Yeah.
play those games, but I also then go on eBay and I'm like, what are these selling for? And I'm like, how many hundreds of dollars? That's going back in the office in a safe. So it's like it's kind of hard to make
Yeah,
that balance of like,
right.
what do I want to risk losing for a $6 coffee drink that you may steal a $200 collector's game for? So
Right.
it's rough, but otherwise, I mean, the community was great, especially like I said when it got stolen. Everyone
Everybody-
kind of took one side and they were like, no, find him, kill him. And I was like, okay, I'm sure if you want to, like, I'm not, Chubby Dog takes no responsibility here, but like, it's a little extreme. I just want my stuff back. So we can find a middle ground. But yeah, it was wild, like the blatancy of it, just to like watch these kids just, and there's others in the room. They weren't alone, and they were just like, oh, this is a cool PS3. I guess, yoink.
Wow. Do you
Yeah.
have like a most popular game that like everybody goes for?
Oh,
there?
man,
Is it,
not-
like one or two.
Well, Smash Bros. We have on the GameCube. We have Smash Bros. Melee. That one is always happening. And then we have a PS3, 2, and 1. So oftentimes, Battlefront 2 Star Wars is on at least one of those. And then we have Xbox 360 with the original Call of Duty with the zombies, World at War.
Oh,
so
wow.
that one's running all the time. Guitar Hero. That one's we got this couple that lives right in Putnam. Mallory comes in and will shred. I mean, just destroys Guitar Hero.
Nice.
It's
Does
amazing.
she hustle?
Oh,
You know, like come in like, oh, you guys want to play
Oh, I
Guitar
told her.
Hero?
I'm like, leave out a cup and just do dueling.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
just do it. And
Oh, wow.
it's astounding just to watch her just come in, just the nicest, like this tall, and we'll just walk in and be like, oh yeah, this is cool, and then just gets in there, just throws Metallica on. She's like, yeah, what's the hardest difficulty? Yeah, that one, and just shreds Master of Puppets, and I'm like,
Wow.
okay,
Wow.
that's cool. It's cool. I'm gonna just film you for social media if you don't mind.
Now, does that like, if you learn to play the guitar on the game, is that like playing the guitar in real life?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It is?
I mean, yeah. I'm good at the orange chord and blue chord are my two best.
Are you messing with me?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're buttons
know.
on the thing.
Yeah, it's a
Just hit the
controller.
I don't know. I'm not a gamer. I've never played.
That's like if you play Call of Duty well, are you ready to go to war? It's the same comparison.
All right. Learn something new every day.
I will say
didn't know.
my kid's favorite game is Mortal Kombat. And the only reason for that is we can never get anything turned on or working. And that's 100% my fault. And they always look to me and I'm like, well, Mortal Kombat works.
Yeah, this is already on and running, so just keep button smashing, and you're gonna win.
But that is good to know that those are the favorites because I'll try and guide them to some of those other ones other than Mortal Kombat.
Are there versions of this that are like coin op, or is it like?
Oh, not at Chubbs. Not at this one.
No, I mean like.
Oh,
So like, if you wanted to monetize the game room,
I
like
don't know.
or for like Danielson, when you do that, is
I
that
don't-
like?
I don't know
or
if this.
Just have the arcades with the quarter.
Yeah, I think if I was gonna monetize like a Guitar Hero, it would just be kind of like I'd have to keep the instruments or the game itself like behind the bar. Like, hey, you want to play? $10 for an hour, and then
Right,
do
right,
it
right.
that way.
Yeah.
But with something like that, I wouldn't even.
Yeah,
bother.
I want to say the sports bar in Willimantic when I went there back in my 20s. It was like you had to give your license and $10 or something for the pool balls.
Yeah, I
You
mean
get
that
a
was
box of
that was
balls to
like
play pool.
decades ago. So
Yeah, I could, yeah.
I'm 40 right now.
In the 60s, back when I was whittling my own pool cue. Yeah, I mean, and I was thinking of stuff like that too, getting like a tabletop shuffleboard game in there and doing
wow.
that same concept. Like, give me something that's valuable to you and
Yeah.
money. I'll give you these metal pucks, and you can play with it for an hour.
Yeah.
you'd be
And-
surprised how many people would leave without a credit card or their license
Oh,
and
no,
not
I mean-
care, not care.
Our drawer at the shop is we actually have a dedicated little, like, one of the things that you're supposed to put coins in.
Yeah.
We don't, because we keep people's credit cards there that forget about it. We try to find them and say, hey, you left it here, and they go, cool, thanks. Never do they. I have a stack that's probably
Wow.
like 2 inches thick of
They
credit
just
cards.
shut it down.
They just shut it down and they just get a new one.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
easier. I've done that. I was
Really?
on vacation and it was like an hour and a half away, so I never went back and I just canceled the card. But I
That-
can see people not even wanting to just go across the street to do it.
but then you gotta like all the things that you have it just
Well, a
automatically.
debit card's much harder if that's what you're thinking of. With a credit card, all you have to do is say, "Hey, it's lost," and they send you a new one.
Wait, is it not good to have credit cards as like Netflix. All of my stuff comes off a credit card.
Yeah, no, that's better.
No, that's better. It's insured
Okay.
money.
Yeah.
I'm just saying a debit card, the bank, when I've had to replace my debit card, the bank just shuts it down.
Oh, yeah.
And then you got to wait like 2 weeks for the new one to come in.
Oh, but it's the same card number.
Yeah. No.
It's well, yeah,
Depends
yeah.
on how.
It depends
lost
your
or
bank.
stolen
I
it
know.
is.
I know.
Bank.
Yeah, if you see the same number and the same security code on the back, and it's just a new color, you might want to be worried.
It looks like they hand wrote the name of the bank on it. You're like, Charter Oaks really changed up their printing. Weird.
But yeah, we don't use debit card anymore because
Yeah.
money's not as insured or whatever. It's not. It's more
Ever.
susceptible to identity theft or whatever. So,
Oh, no kidding.
so we use credit card for that stuff.
Well, good for them because I could steal so many identities right now. Allegedly, if I, we would never do that.
Ah,
yeah,
you're
we
one
would-
of the first to know exactly where to look when you're done.
I still have a hard time finding my camera.
As soon as I said that, I was like, no, prove you're innocent. You never do it.
We are looking to cross-train somebody to run the show in case of something happens to one of us.
You saw that eye contact. I'm your guy.
That's funny. So you're a coffee roaster as well,
Yes.
and like how many different flavors do you roast? Or
a lot.
Is it,
Uh,
yeah.
And there's the staples, and then we try to rotate. Especially now, I have two other roasters that work there, Dave and Max.
Oh,
So Max, especially, I've just kind of been given the reins to, of like, hey, find new coffees and I'll get them, and you figure out the flavor profile. You make the thing. So we've had a few. Max's first nut was the first one that was ever like, I'm hands off completely. You find the bean, you roast it, you make the profile. I'm gonna give you the whole thing. It went very well, and then now we finally have a Columbia because everyone keeps asking if we have one, and I'm like, no, we don't. Everyone else does, so we don't have one. But man, after like 100 people, I'm like, fine, I'll get the boring. Everyone else has it. I'll join the herd. So it's been going well though. People, as soon as we put it up on the shelf, everyone's like, "Oh, you got a Columbia finally!" I'm like, "Right, we also have these other 9 that are amazing that you've never had." And they're like, "Yeah, but no, I want this one."
Yeah.
So, yeah, we roast every Monday. It gets just hotter than hell in there. So if you're ever in the area and just want to see kind of how it's done, we, either Max, Dave, or myself will happily like show you what we're doing, kind of walk you through the process. If we seem annoyed with your questions, give us like 5 minutes, and we're dealing with something, and we will eventually get to you. But yeah, it was one of those things that, like, just I always loved really good coffee, and I always found it very hard to find consistently. So I knew when I opened up a shop that I wanted to be in control of what we were pumping out. I'd never done it in my life ever before. Part of the deal with Ben's Beans, the former business that was there, was they had to teach me how to do it before I
nice.
took over.
Yeah.
And so I got a really quick crash course, and they showed me how to roast, and very little about how to maintain the $80,000 piece of equipment that I now apparently am in ownership of. And we're like 2 months in. I don't know. I must have forgotten to clean one of the spots. And so when you're roasting, the skin of the coffee bean itself will flake off, and it gets through an exhaust system shot out. But it's very, very thin, very, very dry, and it's an open flame that we're using to roast. So sometimes they ember, and sometimes in the back there's a area where the heavier pieces of that skin just collect throughout the roast, and one of those embers fell into it and in our roaster.
Oof.
It's not like super uncommon unless you're 2 months in and it's never happened before and you don't know what's going on, and you're smelling smoke and you're like, uh-oh. So I turned off the machine, and all the smoke just backdrafted into Chubb's. This is before I had the game room,
into
so
the
it was
shop.
just a little narrow thing.
Hallway.
Dude, hand in front of my face, couldn't see my hand. Smoked
Were you
out.
open at that time?
Oh yeah, wide open.
People.
Oh yeah, I had to kick. I was walking people out. I'm like, we better go outside. I might have burned the building down. Like I was gonna go next door too and be like, hey guys, leave. And fire department got called. They came in, And it turns out all I had to do was keep the roaster on, and it just would have split
Oh.
out, and the smoke would have gone out the exhaust vent, which is what it was designed to do.
Oh,
Which
okay.
logically I knew, but in the moment when I smelled
Right.
smoke for the first time, I was like, "What do I do?" and just did the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And then we took the bean that I was at the time cooling, and we labeled it as the Fireproof Sumatra. Sold every bag, and like, it was like just out the door. Everyone just loved the fact that we were just making fun of just our own stupidity. So, it was the best we could do with just a purely stupid situation. But like every now and again, it just
So I do want to come back to Max. So I wasn't gonna say anything, but Kimberly Suzanne, do you know her?
Yeah, it's my cousin.
probably.
Okay, so
Yeah.
she also brought it up. Perhaps you want to change the name from Max's First Nut to something a little different.
No. See, Kimberly, what you're getting is the nuanced joke of what the title is. Like when we say "get your chub on," it's not a reference to our name necessarily. It's called a double entendre, Kimberly.
Yeah, and he's doubling down on it, just so you know.
I'm gonna make you a special bag, Kimberly. I have a first nut waiting for you at the shop. I'm gonna tell Max tomorrow, like, make a bag and save it for you, Kimberly.
Do you have a bag called Max's First Nut?
Yeah.
That's
It was the
Awesome.
first roast that Max ever did by themselves. That was the whole like.
right, but you keep remaking it just that or no.
Oh yeah. Well, so we don't have that particular bean anymore. So that one, when we tasted it, we noticed like it had a very like earthy, nutty flavor to it, which is kind of what we didn't think that was gonna be the name initially. It was the flavor of it, and then Max is like, "Hey, this is dirty," and we made a joke out of it. And I was like, "Yeah, you're right. So good name," and that's what I went for. That's why like our half calf is called Half Chub because our Chubby Dog Coffee, but Half Chub is Kimberly. What? So that was that was kind of the nuance.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said, no, I love the name, and he knows me as Steve's fiance.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
He knows.
Well, because
Bilbo?
I've probably told her before that I don't do names. It doesn't. You're gonna say it to my face,
That's
and
all.
I'm gonna.
What are our names?
I don't. One of you is Kyle.
He's not.
You're the guy. You're him. You're the guy that came out to get me out of my car, but I thought I was in the wrong driveway awkwardly.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
he owns the place.
Oh, nice place.
As in-
Your driveway is.
Are you
just back
confused yet?
there. I'm just gonna look in between you two. You can choose who I'm
You-
talking to.
Continue to look in the camera. You'll be fine.
Kimberly, I see you.
Yeah, so she texts me right away. She loves the name.
Oh, perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that's we just try to not be as corporately as other places are, and just try to make the places fun and inviting and
She
stupidly mature as we can.
she was an only child, and my brother and I. She grew up with my brother and I, and she was like not raised delicately in that
is
way.
That's Kimmy.
What's the matter?
Uh-oh.
Oh, you guys keep talking.
They fought too hard.
Check the dog.
And they just run out of here. And they're like, "Oh, we got you."
That's what happens when they
Yeah.
fight.
Like, you're not paying enough attention to his dad, so psych.
So what other coffees you got? You got Colombia.
here we
The
go.
beans from Colombia.
Yep. Yeah. So
Yep.
we source. We use one company that they source from all around the world.
Oh, okay.
But so I don't have to,
Yeah, go around
long
the world to
distance
find them.
calling. Yeah. So yeah, we get from Rwanda, Uganda, Mexico, Colombia, Honduras, Brazil, probably some places that I'm leaving out. But yeah, we try to get a variety of stuff from everywhere. The next one I'm probably gonna get guilted into is a Kona because everyone keeps asking for that. I know that's what I'm saying, but people keep saying they want one, and I'm like, but
It's almost like they only shop at this.
TJ Maxx. I know. It's annoying.
Yeah, but as a business owner, you have to give the people what they want.
You would think that.
If you want to stay in business, don't you?
Normally, yes. And I know the old adage of the customer's always right, but they're not. It's usually the opposite. And in that case, like, I will probably get one eventually because you can source what's called micro lots. So every farm pretty much has a place where the growing conditions are ideal. The soil's much more nutritious. They hire a lot more staff to work it. It gets optimal sunlight, optimal rain. All the things kind of culminate into one perfect growing area. And those beans will create a completely different flavor than you're thinking
Oh, okay.
from. Like we have one now from Honduras. It's the same farm that we get a regular Honduras from, but it's on their micro lot. You wouldn't even. I mean, it's astounding the difference. And it's the first one I ever bought from micro lot because I'm like, the money's so much higher.
Yeah.
I'm like, it can't be that good. It is. I was blown away by the difference of it, and it's from the same farm I've been buying from for 3 years. So I might get a Kona from a micro lot one day just to kind of satiate that public
Yeah.
desire. But it's just not. Hawaii's not. The equator's where the best coffee grows.
Right.
That's what it wants. So Hawaii's not quite
Not
there.
ideal.
But it does what it does because it's volcanic soil, so it can do it. But it's just not ideal for coffee. So
Yeah, but people, I mean, we love coffee, and we
Yes, we
will
do.
go
Love
far and wide for good coffee. So, customers that are going to come back for that coffee are going to come back.
Oh,
for that
100%.
You know what I mean?
yeah,
I mean, and so you make it. It's like if you build it, they will come.
they do. That's like in that Colombia, I was thrilled how fast it was moving, but at the same time I was like, damn it. All the other stuff that I'm like, no, let me show you this really cool coffee you never had before. And they go, Colombia's fine. I'm like, okay, I'll just accept it. So, well,
I mean, is that going to become your bestseller?
if it does, I'm just gonna give up. I'm just gonna get a
I
drive-through.
don't think you should. I think you should embrace it. Get a drive.
Yeah,
What are we talking about? Kona coffee?
Yeah.
Like from Hawaii?
See, look at him perk up. That's what.
It's okay. It's not my favorite.
I
but
agree.
It's good.
But I get asked all the time if
Oh.
we're ever gonna get one, and I'm just trying so hard to
Not get one.
just annoy everyone that asks me. I'm like, no, drink this instead. And
Because they ask you for it, but then they just grab another bag off the shelf
Every
anyway.
And then they come back, and I'm like, hey, it's you again. They go, yeah, I'll take the same thing I had last time. I'm like, I know, I told you that. Why did you argue with me last time? Just let me guide you. I own this business. I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it'll be growing, and like with the second location opening now, we'll most likely end up once I kind of.
Yeah, we haven't even introduced that yet.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Oh,
I mean, I'm sure people
did
know
say
if they
yeah.
follow you.
I did say something about it
Oh.
already.
Yeah, and I get
Said the
asked
things
at
and
least 8 times a day. Hey, how's the new location coming? I'm like,
Have you
Right.
have you told those people that the gaming bar is not going to be free?
Yeah.
So will they stop asking now?
they don't. In fact, they go, "What's it going to cost?" I'm like, "Oh my god, wait for it to be open."
So you're gonna be like a membership, like pay by the month.
I
Come in and play what you
considered
want?
doing it, but I don't
Yeah.
have enough space where I think I could justify making you pay money every month.
Okay.
Like as far as the pay to play games, I'm thinking like 5 to 6 units, and then like 2 or 3,
Free.
console
free
games.
ones, and then-
So I can't
board
see a
games.
price that I could put on that would be worth either one of us paying.
Right.
Or I could just have you come in and put $5 in and do it that way when you want to. So I'll see. But yeah, for now, I'm trying to work with Tina and Billiards out in Wyndham to get all the games for it.
Oh wow.
Because
Yeah.
it's a leasing program, so you don't have to like pay money up front for it, which is just great because I'm so poor right now. So when they're like no money up front and we split it with you, I'm like, get in here right now. So I'm trying to find older games like House of the Dead 2 is the amount of money I've dumped at it's an old shooter game, so it's like a zombie game.
Okay.
And it's the one you have the two like actual
Oh,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
blue and the
So
red
you-
gun,
yeah.
and you got to like point up screen
Yeah.
to reload
Oh, yeah,
those.
yeah.
I mean, my buddies and I we beat the game at least 20 times at Dave and Buster's, just blowing.
What do you think that cost you?
Oh, I could have bought the unit after the third time. I mean, you don't live long on a play. So I would
true.
say we probably put like $50 in every time you play it to beat the game. So yeah, combined, close to $1,000. Stupid money. I'm aware. Like looking back now,
Yeah, but you can't put a value on fun.
the memories that I half have because of the beer we were also drinking while playing.
Right.
I remember beating it at least twice. But yeah, so I want games like that, things that are more. You gotta engage with the game itself, not just sit down and just play. I did think about getting Dance Dance Revolution, but then I was like, man, I can't. I don't want to listen to that all day long. that high intensity music. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not on Molly. I can't do.
Are you
this."
gonna have an office in the basement as well
No.
there? I was gonna say because you don't want Dance Dance Revolution if you get an office in the basement.
Doesn't
it's-
that one come with like a whole platform? Though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And railings.
Yeah.
And then like on the screen, the arrows point.
Yeah.
You gotta like stomp on the arrow on the pad.
Yeah, I
So
guess
just
you're gonna hear that downstairs no matter
oh,
what.
yeah. And on this one, I have neighbors that like we share a wall, so they're not gonna be thrilled if that's just.
Yeah, but isn't one side vacant?
Oh no, they rented all of it.
Oh,
There's gonna be
Everything's
a
out.
CrossFit gym, a bread baker, and then I got a realty place. Not to.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
It's brunette, right?
No.
Oh, there's
no,
another one
brunette's
coming.
across the street.
I think so. Ravis,
Oh wow.
right?
Okay.
Something like that. There's one that
It is what it is.
yes, like all the retail space there is full now.
Oh wow.
And
See, I like
upstairs-
that better. I like that everything's full.
Me too.
And we're
Yeah.
Main Street's coming alive.
I honestly do think that they're really trying hard to to almost make Putnam put the fire under them and be like, hey, we're coming for you. Like we're gonna be.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
I
something.
mean, I think it's actually, I think it's more like Putnam Business Association, Killeen Business Association, even Plainfield. I think they're working together better, and when one has something good, the other one can kind of
Yeah.
capitalize. You know what I mean? I think they're just working together now, and like even Willimantic, Norwich, they've all done things to like improve really well and bring that whole Main Street vibe back.
Yeah,
like
Willimantic,
Putnam has.
Willimantic especially. Like there's
Yeah.
a lot of construction going on up there.
Yeah, and the food is amazing now. There's a
Yeah.
lot of stuff
It's
to eat
the
up there.
best.
So, yeah, I love it. I love that we're filling up main streets and
Mhm.
people can buy local that much easier. And if you want to go Christmas shopping, you just walk down a main street.
Just stock up on Chubby Dog bags.
See people.
Definitely want to do that. Yeah, and like even Danielson now, I know that I think in April they're gonna do a groundbreaking for like a foot traffic only promenade thingy out like
Really?
behind my building. They're gonna rip out a parking lot.
Yeah, so they got a grant to do all this artwork and basically turn the faces of the buildings to the back sides so
Cool.
that there's common areas in between and that people can have more walking in foot, and there would be like
So he's
Like-
gonna have two entrances and he doesn't know about it.
Well, I do. I'm just
So-
not sure how we're gonna have that one.
Yeah, that was like the plan was to try and turn it around so that they could have we Killingly Route 12 is Main Street,
Mhm.
and that's a state road. You cannot shut it down without an act of the
A
great
lot.
creator himself.
Yeah.
So they, seeing Mystic and like Putnam and what they've been able to do with shutting roads down and having these big events. So they basically found property and bought it. Killingly bought this certain property in the back where they're going to be able to capitalize on all the like back alley space, and they've gotten like I think it's $1 million to like
Whoa.
spruce everything up so like people can turn their have two doors to their business and
Yeah.
have the foot traffic on one side and the sidewalk drive up traffic on the other.
Yeah, and I think they were talking about having live music out
Yeah.
right behind my spot as well, up
Yeah.
against the Elks building. They're gonna
Right,
put like
right,
a
yeah.
collapsible stage there,
Yeah.
so in the summertime they'll
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, because they
And-
do the summer series on the green, but the green's like
Kind of away
kinda
from
too
Main
far
Yeah,
from
Yeah.
nothing.
Main
There's
Street.
no
so-
businesses.
Yeah.
Right, and you don't. So you don't
So-
get
Yeah.
that kind of customers.
People
Yeah.
might walk around, but it's like if there's an event like, hey, 6:45 in the park, we're doing this. No one's. They're
Yeah.
all gonna eat
We-
early dinner and
I
then
mean,
walk up there.
We did have like some pretty good success with second Saturdays. The COVID hit after that, and I honestly like all the meetings were like our schedules had changed, and I couldn't attend a lot of that. And but last I knew, they were sprucing up the other side of this, and yeah, where the Elks is, and they've had. I'm trying to think of what they had the food truck event that was.
Oh yeah.
So when they had the food event, food truck event. All right, We're
You
doing
tried turning
great
down your
tonight.
your headphones and.
No, I wasn't turning them down. I was just switching the cameras for 'em. All right, let's see how I look.
Yeah.
Ah,
Are you
perfect.
still shaking? You smash your head on that?
Yeah, it's easy to hit these
Uh.
camera booms, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, so they had some success with some of those events, even when they had it on the green and when they had it, the food truck thing down by like I think it was down in the courthouse in that big parking
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
area, and over by, would you say the Elks?
Yeah, I think that's the park.
Yeah,
Rip
over
up that
there.
one in the back.
Yeah, so like now with that as their target area for
Awesome,
like
great.
having events and stuff like that, and then yeah, so anyway, yeah, there are people working on it, mostly volunteers, trying to bring more life to main streets.
It's great. I
And
love it.
anyone out there, I urge you to volunteer local, because it's a lot of these events get planned by the same handful of people over and over and over and over, and it gets burnout. It's
Oh,
tough.
yeah.
It's a lot of work.
And then just angry business owners just
Yeah.
yelling at you, like, "How come you don't have this in front of my place?" It's like, well, because you're one of 80 people. That's why. I don't know. There's no reason.
Yeah, there's that angle too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you just try to do more so that more people can be successful about it. So
Yeah, and I mean, I love the idea of just like small businesses too, supporting the community itself. I mean, like even now in our own little way, we've tried. We have a corner in the Putnam location for local artists. A few of them are staff members at Chubbs, but like we just want to get local artists who are making cool stuff and just be like, hey, put it on the wall here and sell it and grow your thing, because
yeah,
why not? That's cool. What you do is cool. Or
yeah,
we have a girl. Her name is Liz. She's 17. Arguably one of the best artists I've ever met in my life. She's going to be doing some of the painting for the murals at the new Chubby's in Danielson. And all I did was like, hey, I like Power Rangers, I like Nickelodeon from the 90s, and these video games. And she's like, cool. Sends me these layouts of what she took pictures of the walls in there, and she's like, and made this whole thing. This is what's going to look like. And it's just my childhood on the wall there. And
Yeah.
she's like, what do you think of this? And I'm like, first off, you drew Ren and Stimpy better than the
Ren and
artist.
Stimpy were on the
Like, I don't know where
cartoon.
you got that.
Yeah.
She has the Power Rangers on this huge section of wall. It looks like they're real. It just, and she just drew this with her hands. And I'm like, what? How do you do that? And
That's
you're only
awesome.
17. That annoys me too, that you're half my age and way more talented than I'll ever be.
That's awesome, but it should have been Ninja Turtles. So
Okay. I think there's a superhero beatdown of exactly that, and Tommy wins.
Yep.
That's right, you're 40. Yeah, so you would.
I'm 40. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm like, this
so
kid's younger.
We hit that.
he's
There's just that one
ranting
little.
his Power Rangers. All right, we'll let him have his little Power Rangers. but
Okay.
It's
Tell it
Ninja-
to Megazord when he
Ninja-
steps on you. What are you gonna do about that?
that? And then the next guy older than me would say Transformers would crush everybody.
Optimus Prime, get out of here. Are you a monkey? Are you a truck? No one even knows. You don't even know. Go away. It's been great though. I love what all of them. I mean, all these local towns around here are just trying to be something
Yeah.
that's not Amazon, basically. And I love it. Like, 'cause,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like, we all use it. I do too. But
Right.
it does suck that it does kind of kill the
yeah.
go out to
Kills
a
the small
it
business.
does.
It's
It's such
so
a like trope
tough.
to say, but man, is it really hard when you can find Starbucks coffee on Amazon for $10 and it ships to you tomorrow for free? And I'm like,
Wait, really? You can?
yeah. And
Oh,
I
by
mean,
the
their
way, you're
bundles are
talking to
so good.
Starbucks king of the world over
I
here.
can tell you were just a basic little. I got it. You have PSL tattooed somewhere on you.
Best time of the year.
What's the secret menu item this month? You know.
I believe you also had pumpkin during the fall.
All year long. Actually, I never get rid of it.
Yeah, see the smaller coffee shops
Yeah.
have it all year long.
And I just got complimented on that yesterday, so boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
I drink it all the
So you
time.
had
Yep.
one customer since
Yes.
October. Pumpkin spice latte.
No.
Although the look on people's faces when they're like, "You have pumpkin spice right now?"
Yeah.
It's like I just said, "Hey, here's your new child," and their eyes are just like wide open, like that's it.
Yeah.
You, you make dreams come true.
I really do. I'm like Disney, but for coffee, pumpkin spice. That's been great. It's so wild to think like it'll be 3 years April 5th that Putnam's been open, and it's wild, man. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't see myself as responsible enough to like own a business. Like, I can't like own a thing and like people know about it, B care. Like, it's so wild. It's
That's
so
actually how
wild.
we feel about this.
Right? Like, when have you ever gotten recognized? Like, has anyone
We
just walked
got
up to you?
another follower.
Yeah! But, like,
He
it
did get
blows
recognized. He
your
did
mind.
get recognized at Fire and Ice, and somebody called him the podcast guy.
Isn't it? Doesn't it just make you?
It does. It's like, like all of this is just like hobby, and we are
Yeah,
severely in the hole. We're not making any money on this.
I think we go in debt every night.
Yeah, that's true. Cheers. Cheers to good drinks.
Crippling debt.
We're not.
Oh yeah, that too.
We're not going to go without without a good drink. But yeah, we've had amazing feedback, and it just makes it so worth it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
so crazy.
I can't say enough about our followers and supporters, and the amount of sharing and everything's just been awesome, and I can't wait to keep doing it. I love every podcast we get excited.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just put a big smile on our face. Even doing like the mid to late week reminder, it's usually after we get the kids on the bus, so it's like, I get the kids on the bus. Kyle brings his.
Yeah, ironically though, there's zero alcohol in those mornings, and we laugh
and
more.
and we just have a conversation, and then when we're laughing like this, I'm like, all right, welcome to the community workbench.
Oh yeah, business. I'm gonna attempt to read this now, if you don't mind.
Attempt is the
keyword.
word. The keyword.
You're the king of making up words.
Yeah, I applaud the strictness too. I'm just like, I made a script, and damn it, I'm gonna read it.
I actually came up with some interview questions, and I forgot to print them out.
Perfect.
We don't usually have them. We fly by
No.
the seat of our pants.
Yes.
But sometimes
You
we have to
prepare.
fill dead air.
Yeah.
So it's good too. But we had a hunch that we wouldn't have to fill dead air with
I
you.
I
Yeah.
try to not have to. But if you want, I'll just sit here awkwardly and just stare
No.
at you until you ask me one of your find it. It's on a Google sheet somewhere. So,
How'd you
just
know
start
it was
scrolling.
Google?
Yeah.
Well, okay, if buying that much equipment, you're not paying for often.
Our
I know
Google,
that. I know what that costs. I don't pay for it either. So, I'm like,
Yeah.
Google's a free version
It's-
that
yeah.
most people don't like. Oh well, screw it. It works.
Oh, I love it.
It's
I
so
can't,
much better.
Oh, Gmail and Word doc, everything. I don't know if
All of
it's a security breach telling everybody that I put everything on the Google thing, but
And his password
and
is.
then,
Yeah.
and then you can just share. I hit K and Kyle's name comes up, and Kayla, my wife's name comes up, and I can share it with either one of them. And I'm like, hey, we got a Word document that we can all work on.
That's what
It's-
hackers love. The ease.
Or is he lying and it's actually his office? It's like Apple versus Android, where it's like those who have Office, it's Apple people. They're like, how in Excel I have formulas. I'm like, I don't care. I don't know how to do that anyway. So go away. And then there's just the Google people, and we're over here with Sheets and Docs, and we're like, yeah, well, my Android didn't. It works, so I can still write things, and I still have cells. So go away. But I'm the same way. We use.
Yeah,
Whatever the free
and
thing
and
is.
I bought a new laptop, and everything on Microsoft is like pay to play. And
Yep.
I'm
Yeah.
like,
And I'm like,
They
no.
are.
no,
Unless you
sorry.
go Microsoft 365, but it's all internet based. But the Google's works fine. It does all the same functions.
And it's free.
Yeah.
And you can stay within their business and Google how to do this.
Hey Google, when I'm using your thing, wow. How do I do it?
Yep, that
Yeah.
happens a lot here.
Yeah. Control S, like wow. So
Yeah,
simple.
if they charged us to Google on how to set a lot of this up, we would have been screwed.
Ooh, was this a YouTube?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. YouTube,
Right?
everything.
The
Like
best.
like hooking up mics, hooking up the TV. What cables to get? Oh God, what cables to get is insane.
Oh yeah, just
How many times did I have to return the same 9 cables?
Oh wait, you returned that? Oh, I think we might need
We
it.
gotta buy it again.
wait. FireWire's not a thing anymore. You're saying that's done with? Okay, got it. I don't know
Yeah.
what this USB port is, but
Yeah. Yeah, and we learned that HDMI is just for output, and USB is the one that has two roads.
Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
my brain works. All right.
He's the second employee of the tech department. Out of the
Yeah, when he's down with COVID, can you
I'm not
just
a
go and
fool.
unplug one cord, please?
I'm not a full employee. Not a half, not a full.
I don't think either of us.
It's not there.
Yeah, like, what's a XLR cord? I don't know what that is, but what does that do?
Yeah, it's more rudimentary than that. Like a quarter. This looks like a quarter of an inch to,
You should get him
and
at
that hole that I gotta get it to looks like an eighth of an inch.
How do I convert? How do you spell convert? K or
He measured
C?
like this. Okay, it's this big.
Yep.
It was fun.
No, this is great. I mean, honestly, what you guys have here is this is a sweet little setup down here. I love
Thank you.
this.
Thank you.
I'm glad to see it's happening because honestly, it kind of sticks to the like commercial radio people, and that makes me happy.
Nice.
I just, in a very bitter, very bitter sense. I'm just like, yeah, see,
Yeah,
told you guys you were wrong.
that's awesome.
Mom's watching, so take that radio.
So, do you do live performances at in Putnam?
So I did a couple. Some of our regulars are musicians that make all their own like original stuff. So
Nice.
there were a few events that I hired. I don't know if you've ever heard of Andrew Arpin or
I've heard of them.
okay, or Elle Jordan. She's phenomenal too. Amazing voice. And so hired them for these little town events and had them in my game room, and it was not. I felt so bad that I even asked them to waste their day with me. I was like, this stinks, because it was just people were coming in, but it was to get their coffee, and they clearly had plans to go somewhere else. So they get it, they poke their head in and go, oh, that's cool, and then just leave. I'm like, oh, here's $100 still. Sorry about that. And it's like it's just not the. It's not the space.
It's not there yet.
No, and it's just also the way that my building is set up, having the one door to the game room, and like you can't even. You have to walk all the way in and walk all the way kind of like halfway through my building and then see in there. I think it kind of deters people from. Maybe not deters them, but they don't. The inquiry's not there when they first walk in, right? So it's like if you walked in, you saw it, and you didn't have anywhere to go, you'd be like, "Oh, cool, let's watch for a minute." But when you kind of gotta find the door, like you would think it's easy to see the game room. You would think, mostly because you guys have been there, so you're aware that it exists.
Yeah.
The amount of times that I've seen faces over and over and over again, and then they come in one time, I'm like, "Oh yeah, well, it's in the game room," and they go, "What game room?" I'm like, "Oh my god." You're here twice a week for like 3 months. Why do you not know that room's right there?
We know a sign guy that can really put a big sign that says game room with an arrow flashing.
Is it you?
No.
Oh.
No. We just,
Oh, this was the arrow to
no,
go.
we
to
always
the game room.
I see how you insinuated that.
I mean, he really was like.
I just think when you walk in there, you got to take a right. So that's why I was like doing that. But
But I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We have a lot of stuff there. There's rope lights all around it. There's a big billboard over the top of it, and nothing. People just miss it. I don't know how.
yeah, I just took the opportunity to talk about Jenna,
Yeah.
JT Creations.
John, if you're
He
John's
does
awesome.
laser engravings, and he's working on he does acrylic and wood and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, with like neon
Oh, cool.
And he
backlights
can
and
do
stuff now.
the
Yeah.
backlights
He's
and
local.
stuff. He's one of the guys we had on here. He's like the third episode, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
You're talking to me.
He was asking me. I went back in our catalog.
Well, you said you watched.
I did. I scrolled back through. I smashed like on the Instagrams.
We appreciate that. Thank you.
And sometimes I'm like, watch our later stuff. We've gotten better, but
It sounds like we're like a band. Yeah, you're not gonna want to watch.
Yeah. That first demo album, it's just not.
We've evolved.
Yeah. We all know Dookie was a much better album than Green Day's first stuff. It's not. Just move on. It's fine.
I love the references you come up with. That's great.
Oh yeah. In case I'm a fangirl all day. In case you haven't noticed.
That's right. We got a Swifty sitting to my right here.
Yeah, but so is Tosh.
yeah. Daniel Tosh is a Swifty.
Daniel Tosh is lying to you, saying that because when you say Taylor Swift, it gets a lot more traction.
Taylor
Yeah,
Swift.
Well, maybe
Taylor Swift
we're not too
is
proud.
amazing.
We're not too proud.
Yeah, but now everything you search is gonna have Taylor Swift in
It has to.
So
And when you do the description of this episode, you can say that we talked about Taylor Swift.
I don't think I'll go that far. I don't think I'll go that far.
He won't just do anything to get this public, to get this more attention.
My wife's a Swiftie, so you just got a new follower from her just for saying that. She hates you, but she's gonna love you.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Super understandable.
She's gonna show you her tattoo. She's gonna tell you all these weird details about Taylor that you shouldn't know if you don't actually like know her as a friend, but she does because Swifties. It's a cult. You are part of.
I was gonna say friend or stalker. You know?
It's a line.
It's a line.
Most of the time, I don't know where they stand. I really don't.
Well, has she driven by her house in Rhode Island?
I don't ask. Oh yes. So she one time wanted to. She had a beach day. I had the day off for whatever reason. And
Oh
we
wait,
went.
no, wait. Beach day. Oh, let's go to Rhode Island.
We set up in front of the mansion because she hoped that Taylor would walk out and she could just see her. That was it. She just wanted to look up and just see this angelic woman just standing there, and, like she was gonna wear some long robe and be like flailing in the wind, and she was gonna sit on the beach going, huh.
Yeah, she's at that house like 4% of the year.
Well,
Not the
when
baby
she
there.
first bought it, I was working for Niantic Awning Company, and there was a guy that got arrested trying to swim to her beachfront. And,
It wasn't
like,
you?
We're like,
Is this a story about you?
no, it
Right,
wasn't
not
me.
a Swiftie
But-
anymore. He got caught.
But
He hides it.
Tim from the last episode, him and I were laughing because we were like, she just bought it like the other day. You think she's there? She's having custom everything done to it as they always do. There's no way she's there.
Yeah, she's not helping the contractors. Like, give me a hand. I sung country back in the day, so I can work a saw. Yeah, it's not happening.
Oh, that's
So
that's
yes, my
so
wife does
funny.
stalk her. So thank you for the reminder.
I think every single fan does.
All of them. It's weird.
But Tosh, his point was her integrity. Like she had that incident with that radio producer, and then he sued her for millions of dollars, and she sued him for $1, and flew back and forth to Denver. It cost her a boatload of money.
So much.
Yeah,
And she won the $1.
right.
Yep.
And she won-
She won $1.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's like his point is
Oh,
like
yeah.
the integrity of it.
And even like I did up to like Reputation. I'll be honest, I was a fangirl too. Loved it. '89 I think is honestly one of the best pop albums in decades. It an amazing album.
I don't even know how we got here.
Once you start,
Well, he
you know,
said he was a fangirl, and it just reminded me of you being a
Yeah.
fangirl.
I was talking about Green Day, and all of a sudden it was like, yeah, well, he likes Taylor Swift, so
Yeah, I didn't want him to feel bad because I like Green Day myself. I'm not a
Our
fangirl.
relationship is just us tearing each other down. That's it.
Hey,
it's
we
good.
have a name for that. It's called Cotton Sharpening Cotton. Do you know that reference? So you didn't watch it.
nope. I can only watch.
So-
I can't watch all of them.
So the real saying is iron sharpening iron, and we've gotten each other better at certain things, but we're just not tough as iron. we say we're iron, cotton sharpening cotton.
That's okay. Swifties can be iron. One day you'll get there.
There's hope.
You will. It's okay.
But so then what turned you away if you loved it before?
The Lover album. After
Wow, he can name albums.
I
have no
can't
idea
do that either, okay?
And
No.
it took me a minute to even realize what 1989 was. I'm like, that was the year I was in first grade.
she was just born, and you're like, oh. Damn it. Yeah, I don't know. It's the music just for me. I was out, and then she started doing some folk stuff, which I know people like, but it's just not my genre. And so that alone, I was like, ugh. Even if it wasn't you, even if Green Day did that stuff, I'd be like, no, go back to skateboards and getting broken up with. I'm done with whatever this garbage is. And yeah, it just never kind of hit again. I just thought those two albums were phenomenal. And at the time, I was still in radio, so I got to go see her rep tour at Gillette. And
Oh,
put us
wow.
up in like one of the radio boxes. It was amazing.
Wow.
So maybe that was also part of the reason, because when they're giving you free beer and you have your own bathroom at Gillette during a concert, you're like, I don't care who's playing right now. This rules because I don't have to fight for a bathroom. That's awesome. But then after that, I don't know. It fell off for me. So my wife's still obsessed, and I don't know how far you.
I mean, I
rabbit hole, but
just listened to. I don't even know all of her albums.
I know at least 5.
Yeah, I don't even know 5.
I think it's more because you have so many daughters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
have
use that as a.
5, and they all ask for it. We're in their car for a song request. They'll play this or play that. So
Did you just say you have 5 daughters?
4. Sorry.
You said 5 though. 100%.
You miscounted.
Well, I have 5. I have 5 kids. But I have 4 daughters.
Wow.
Uncovering new stuff today. That's all.
Yeah. So, back to Chubby Dog.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm here.
Second location is going to be 144 Main Street, Danielson, Connecticut.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Say
So we're still going with that.
I don't want to say it yet. We had let's call it a kerfluffle, where when they first signed me up, I was 138 Unit 3. I was like, cool. All my paperwork, everything with the government, with the town, everything was that address. And then I came out of the building one day, and the mail lady's like, "Hey, you own Chubbs?" And I was like, "I do." And she goes, "Cool. We have a stack of mail for you at the post office because your address doesn't exist." I'm like, "All right, well, I did just walk out, so it does." And she goes, "Well, yeah, right." She's like, "But see, the physical therapy place next to you is 136, and it goes down or whatever the direction was. Somehow it was wrong." And so I was like, "Okie dokie." So I went to the post office, got all my stuff, and I was like, "What do you think it is?" And she goes, "Well, we don't know. You're supposed to." I'm like, "You're right. Fair point." So went to the town hall, and I was like, "Hey guys, where do I work? Where is that?" And they were like, "Well, the building is 140." I'm like, "That's fun." So went back to my landlords, and I was like, "Hey, I have 2 different addresses. What's real?" And they go, "Well, you're 144." I'm like, "Okay, so that's none of the things you gave me, and I filled out all my paperwork with the wrong address." And he goes, "Yeah." I'm like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
So
It's only 20 hours worth of work.
so reimbursement is going to be what for you? I'll let you know soon. But I think we've settled on 144. I still haven't gotten any mail yet, so I'm a little nervous about that.
With the
but
physical building is there.
the physical building is there. If you know where Dennison Surplus is, I'm across the street. You will see my logos all over the windows. That is me. It does exist. It is just I'm still. I think it's 144.
Wow.
I've asked.
What
many
did the
times.
last business that was there before operate as?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's been probably 30 years since something
Yeah.
was in that.
Oh, that's been vacant that long?
Oh, it's been vacant for a long time.
Has it?
Has it?
I think so.
Oh, wow.
I know it was a hotel you rented by the hour, like in like the 70s. It was.
Oh, you got to have that history because I want to read it. When I'm sitting there having coffee slash
yeah.
beer or
If you
whatever.
put a
we're doing.
quarter on the table, a dame comes out and she says, "Hey, fella." Yeah, it's one of those places.
Oh, that's not the new gaming bar.
No. Not at all.
I love places with sketchy backgrounds, just like my people.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Like, especially we're gonna have booze at the second location eventually.
Yeah.
Which we don't have at the Putnam location, and we won't. It'll just be for this one.
So it'll be coffee and booze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, eventually. The liquor application is quite a thing. So I can't even apply for that until the health department says I'm a business. So once they do that, then I can get their blessing to go get the liquor license, which I assume will take months. I really don't know. I'm pretty terrified to even start that application process because I just assume I'm going to hit so many walls and not know what they're asking me. But I'm hoping by summer just to really get the full thing up and rolling. So,
Up and rolling.
Yeah, we'll see.
So when, do you have an estimated date as to when people could physically walk in there and buy non-alcoholic products?
Let's say March. Let's
say
do
March.
that.
Okay. So March is real soon.
March is
Friday.
is soon. Yes. Now March also has something amount of days. 30, whatever. There's a lot of days in March. So as long as it's not 11:59 on whenever the last day is.
I will agree. March has more days than February.
I think you're right. Is it a leap year? I don't know. Does
It was a leap year.
Even
Perfect.
Even if it is.
In fact, I think that's Thursday. It's the extra day.
Yep.
So make good use of it.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of ground to cover in 3 days. So yeah, I'm hoping for March still, but I could also be completely wrong about
Yep.
that. So
Gotcha.
we'll see. If everything keeps going the way it's going, it should be possible. but
Nice.
all I know, the roof's gonna cave in on me one day while I'm there painting it.
Oh God.
You don't need a roof.
I agree, but the health department's like, oh, what about? I'm like, all right.
Open air is like a new concept.
It's good for you. Wasn't that the rule with COVID? They were like, breathe fresh air. I'm like, I'm bringing you just
We tore the roof off of this, so we're
Yeah.
gonna keep going.
the sun is vitamin D. That's good for you. But
that's awesome.
it's been a hell of a journey trying to get the place just
Yep.
put together.
Yeah.
Working with contractors, working with my landlords, the post office, who I didn't think I'd ever. I never thought we would have any sort of run-in. I was just like, you guys are just going to deliver mail like you do, and we would just be fine.
Yeah, the post office has some complaints.
They sure did. Yep, right to my face. Just like, where are you? You just saw it. You just saw it.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. Well, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah, easy.
I don't know.
I mean, and money, that part sucks too. Someone's like,
Well, when you throw it all together like that,
hey, you want the post office to yell at you?
Entrepreneurship is a dream.
it's really a nightmare until.
Until it's running, and then you're like,
Until
wait,
you
what
can-
about staffing and taxes? Oh, no.
Yeah, we were talking earlier before the podcast about profit and bucket. You're like, I don't have any
That's not a
money to
thing.
buy a profit bucket.
Even those cheap plastic ones at Walmart, I'm like, $4.95? What? Yeah, it's so wild. Like, the perception of a business owner is like, oh, you're loaded. It's like,
Right. Yes.
in fact, most of my hourly employees who work 12 to 15 hours a week make more than me.
No.
I pay when I do payroll and I see how much they make. I went, damn, that is awesome. Like, how did you make it? There's 3 numbers there. That's not rules. Like the amount of times I've like when it comes to my little part of it, I'm like 0.0. Yeah, I'm gonna submit that. But it's like,
Well, the bank and that FICA guy,
yeah, whoever that is.
they keep taking everything.
Yeah. I don't know who this Uncle Sam is, but I know there's no one in my family with that name. But yeah, it's so wild. Like it's such a misconception that
Yeah.
you open a business and all of a sudden you're just this
Well,
bazillionaire.
Yeah, that's because you only hear about the wild success stories of like that make the news.
I will take
that's
all
kinda
the
how
hate Jeff Bezos gets. If I've got
I'm not too proud.
if I got Joe Rogan money and you want to come whatever you want, I don't care.
Oh, he would take Joe Rogan money.
All day.
Who wouldn't?
I'll take a tenth of it. It's just it'd be so incredible to think that you're even just to have a regular just to pay all your bills and not have to think like, how am I gonna make payroll next month? How am I gonna do that? That's
Yeah.
gotta be so
Yeah.
cool. It's gotta be. But like, I mean, at the end, like we're not doing horrible. It's not like we can't afford things, but it's just like you never especially in the beginning, like what you pay yourself as a business owner compared to how much you actually work.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah,
make less
if
than
you
$1
bill
an hour
Yeah.
in reality, and
Yeah.
still people are like, oh, you're a business owner, you got this. I'm like, do I? 'Cause I'm pretty sure this card might get declined if I tap. There's a good probability of that.
Oh man.
But yeah, we're still cooking along, and I'm hoping with the second location with the booze and what Kilney's doing, this
Yeah,
will really give
yeah.
me that boost. And also, I'm on like a one-way street with Putnam, so I think that does kind of kill people's ability to find me.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Man, what do they call it? There is a type of business with that. It's called like spur of the moment type of business where, like, because we were talking about that with the Icebox, where they had to lose a parking spot through all of this, and that hinders a spur of the moment.
Oh,
business.
right. Somebody's
Because they're like,
stopping, and then
if it's all
yeah.
full,
Yeah.
if the parking's all full,
Right,
they
nobody's
don't
gonna
stop
stop.
for the ice
Mhm.
cream.
Yeah.
And so that's like a big deal to lose one parking spot. And you
Yeah.
don't like I never even thought of that, And so each spot has its value, and same with being on a one-way street. I'm sure is
Yeah.
similar to that, because like I can remember when I started driving, my mom would say, "Oh, careful in Putnam. There's a couple of one-ways." And it's like, as a new driver, I was like, I hope I don't get stuck on a one-way.
Did you ever go down it?
Yeah,
I did.
it was
100%.
a couple of years in. I was like,
See, he would.
you know what? I'll try it.
He would have found Chubby Dog the wrong way, but he would have found it.
And that could be why I don't like cities. Just like, I was in Boston one time looking for Boston Beer Works, and we took a wrong turn, and we ended up on a one-way, like, for 10 miles and ended up at the airport. It was like, we're like,
Wait, when
you
did you
can't just
figure
turn
out-
around. It's not some country back road where I can pull a 90-point turn and turn around.
Yeah, but you didn't encounter somebody coming the right
Yeah,
way.
like you went
No, we
that
were
far?
we were going on the right way, but
Oh.
we couldn't get off.
Oh, good.
There was no exit from there all the way
Yeah.
to the airport, and the whole time I'm like, I hate this city. I hate this city. This is stupid. We're gonna be late. Yeah, that was the 20-something-year-old Matt.
I thought you were gonna say it was 2022. I was like, bro.
No, I mean, I will just bring all the businesses I want here to Northeast Connecticut.
And I would go down
gonna-
my roads that have no lines in the middle.
Yeah,
That's right.
we're just gonna make it perfect for everybody. Come here and set up shop,
Make,
Make
the
a
beer,
living.
like right down
make
here.
a good living.
That's right.
That's the whole goal.
And every time you say Killenly, they go, "Where's that?" And you go, "Connecticut, the corner
That's
that you never go. That one, I'm up there."
that's nothing. I was in Willimantic the other day, and I said I'm from Brooklyn. They're like, "You're all the way from New York?" I'm like, "We're in Willimantic. How do you not know?"
You are 2 towns away from me. You should know.
3. You forget about Hampton.
What?
That's the right response for Hampton.
Hampton, Chaplin.
Oh yeah, I've heard
and
of that.
Willimantic. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard that one. It's not the Hamptons. It's
Oh,
Hampton.
different place. I'm a business owner. I get the Hamptons, obviously.
Yeah,
Me,
that's right.
for my ilk, my tax bracket, different Hamptons.
Has everybody turned this off now?
No, it seems to be picking up progress.
Nice.
Although I will come back to our favorite watcher, Kimmy.
Kimmy. Yep.
Or Steve's fiance.
Oh.
She asked if there'll be axe throwing.
I mean,
Well,
legal or
Well, so I
Not
do
legal axe
know
throwing.
there's like you can hire mobile axe throwers. They have like a trailer that they'll come park and like they do fairs and stuff like that.
well, I can put a piece of plywood up in the basement and buy some hatchets. I mean, we can do
yeah.
basement stuff.
Can you
Abishon
afford
has-
the insurance on having
Whoa,
axe
whoa, whoa.
throwing?
If I do this, I would obviously go through all the right channels and get all the right insurances. And no, I'm not gonna have axe throwing. I was gonna make a joke, and I was like, I have nothing. I'm going.
Come on,
nowhere.
come on. Abishon's has hatchets, and
Yeah.
Modern Lumber has plywood.
You just do it in the basement, and you just don't tell anybody except the people that are gonna give you only cash, and they keep their phones upstairs. With no pictures of tonight. Although there is one, not to plug somebody else, but the one in Putnam should be going in soon. The axe throwing place where TJ Maxx, I think, used to be up by Runnings. There's supposed to be a big axe
Oh,
throwing
no
place
kidding.
going
Oh, wow.
up there.
Oh wow. No, we're all for plugging other busises. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're not
That's
a
kind
competitor
of what
of
this
Chubby
platform
Dog.
is.
Well, have you heard about my cool basement axe throwing? Yeah, they have safety and people that are watching. But I have a dungy basement that you just walk down, and I'm just like, here's
No
two
windows.
axes. Yeah. Oh no.
or lights.
Oh, there's one. It like swings. I don't know. It just always does too. You don't know why.
Great.
So you have a couple things in Chubby Dog and Putnam that are unique. You have like that fridge that is, I forget what you call it, self-serve.
Our self-service.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so like what kind of things are going to be in Danielson that really are going to be different from the one in Putnam?
For the self-serve stuff.
Well, no, just in general.
Oh. Well.
Just so people know the difference between
Like
the
what
Sure.
sets you apart?
Yeah.
So that one, obviously, the booze. When we get to that point, will be a huge
Mm.
difference. I used to be a bartender at a gay bar actually up in Maine, and I made the best espresso martini that has ever existed. So
Oh, my wife will be the first one in line to Danielson.
I-
If you're gonna bartend and make espresso martinis.
I'm gonna bartend, and we used to have a deal up at that bar where for $20 I took my shirt off and I made your drink for you. dude.
You'll put me to shame. So no, you can't do
No,
that.
no, no. It's cool because it helps buy me video games. It supports local business. So if you don't do it, you hate local business. That's how it works.
This might be a worse turn than the Swift talk. Taylor Swift talking.
She'll be there. I mean,
Only if you take off your shirt.
for her, it's $100. Totally fair. But for that, the self-serve fridge will still exist. It'll be a smaller capacity one, probably there. Just the way the space is set up, I don't really have enough room for like a full-size fridge to just be there. But we are gonna have that CrossFit gym next door. So I've already met the owner. She was cool, and I brought up those cans of Celsius, the energy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you should have seen her eyes. Like CrossFit people, if you just say the word Celsius in front of them, it's an aphrodisiac. She's like, yeah, and I'm like, right. So, we'll have some of that stuff there. More of a variety of energy drinks. We have Monster and Red Bull at Putnam for like nerd night stuff. They all love lemonades and things like that. So we'll have the same thing, but with a larger variety. I'm considering getting more soda options in Danielson, especially considering if we're gonna have booze, we'll need mixers anyway. So I'll probably have like a self-serve soda thing, Pepsi.
Just the
or something like
self-serve
that.
thing in general, though, it's like so community-based. Like you don't see anybody doing that because of trust issues and stuff. But you do it in Putnam, plus the free games, and then I mean, it may seem small, but I think it speaks volumes.
Yeah, and I mean, I do get that. We've had it. I've caught people on camera doing it, just walking in, taking something out, and just leaving. But like, what are you gonna do? It's a can of soda, right? So like, what am I gonna do? I'm not gonna.
No, you
not
need
gonna
to
litigate.
tell people you can't
prosecute
feed your
to the fullest letter of the law.
Well,
For anyone who's listening,
we
and
never
right.
saw
thinking
them
of
again.
doing something like that.
You know what? That is a very valid point. Good
We
thing we're
are on a
live.
public
So-
chat, right?
Shelby Dog has armed security at every door. But it's like
lasers.
yeah. She will bet. They watch everything. But like, it's just one of those things that, again, I like the idea of the coffee shop is a community-based place. It's
Right.
meant for
Right.
that
Yeah.
sort of environment.
Yeah.
And there's always going to be that person.
Yeah.
Always going to exist. So it's like for the 1-2% of the people that are going to be like that, I don't want to ruin the aesthetic for the other 98%.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
just kind of chalk up the losses when they just happen. You go, well, okay, you get to live with being the dirtbag. We're going to be
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
sucks to be you.
Oh yeah.
So-
I mean, sleeping on a pillow with a clear conscience is
I didn't
best
say that
sleep
about
you'll
you.
get. That's the best sleep you'll get.
Charging $7 for a Red Bull lemonade. What?
Oh, we're not sleeping. Forgot.
But yeah, I mean, it's that idea is still going to be existent in the Danielson one. We're just going to try to make things a little more profitable. That's pretty much going to be the goal with them.
I mean, you have to survive.
trying to. Yeah, and even that, like, I was shocked. We recently had to raise our prices.
Oh, I saw your
Yeah.
video.
So, dude, I honestly thought that was going to get so much hate from people. And I had a customer come in, I think from New York. I don't know how he found me, but saw that video, drove up just to tell me that he saw the video, liked that I was honest, because, like, you never see that. Everyone tries to, like, hide their price increases. So he complimented the idea that I just blatantly was like, this sucks, raise my prices. What are you going to do? Sorry about that. Here's what it is. And brought it up and was like, I don't care, and bought a ton of stuff. So I hope
Nice.
he's listening to this too. That guy ruled.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, like, bought shirts, bought tumblers, bought
That's awesome.
2 or 3 coffees. I mean, it was amazing. And all because of that dumb video of me apologizing for raising prices 25 cents.
Yeah.
Because, normally with things like that, I always get so nervous doing it because it's
Yeah.
not a big increase, but man, when your regulars come in every day and their total's 505 and you go 535, oof.
Yeah. It's
Oof,
it
hell
is-
has no fury. I mean, you wouldn't think it's a lot, but
Was it a pumpkin spice latte?
I legally
It's
can't
tough.
say.
It's tough to get pumpkins in February.
They're all
I'm
frozen.
sorry.
You understand? Yeah, and they take the change and go, no! They hurl it at you, and you're like, that's...
Yeah, it's I get it on all sides, and I'm sure I definitely appreciate that. You're conscious of it. You know what I mean? You're thinking of everybody.
And I mean, you have to.
You're trying to do that.
Yeah, it's again, another one of those negative perceptions of business owners is that like it's this greed, like money hungry. You're just trying to get money. It's like no.
No.
It's the profit margins.
Yeah.
Oh, they're thin. Oh,
Yeah.
are they thin?
Yeah, I'll say everybody has had to raise prices in the past
You can't.
3 years,
I mean,
4 years, whatever it's been
It's,
since.
yeah, especially
yeah.
Connecticut. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a great state to own a business in. Minimum wage went up in 6 months. It went up twice. They went
Yeah.
from 14 to 15 in.
Well, that was part of a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
when they instilled that. Yeah, but I've met other restaurant owners that are like,
It's so much.
our food prices go up every time that ticks up, and
'Cause you have to.
it's such a wild misnomer. Is that a real
Ooh.
word?
Oh my god!
Oh, that's a real word. Okay.
yeah, you did it.
It's a misnomer.
I didn't realize we were such an educated podcast here. All right.
But it's such a misnomer that, like, oh, if we raise minimum wage, more people will be able to pay rent, pay a living, whatever. And that's not true, because when you raise minimum wage, every corporation in America
Well-
says everyone has to raise that wage. That's not a competitive thing. He's like, you know what I mean?
You're
like,
literally you're asking me
like
to put
everybody
money out.
has to, and
Yeah.
especially any company that has to beholden to. Did I say that right?
You are really. I mean,
That's beholden to shareholders. Shareholders, they got to make a profit.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if Target knows that Walmart has to bring their prices up because of the minimum wage, then it's not creating a competitive atmosphere.
No.
It's just raising prices. That's
No,
all it's doing.
Just screws everything.
And it's and then it
Pretty much.
raises what you need for a living wage, because everything has to go up. It's such a crazy.
Yeah.
They call it the rat race for a reason, I guess. I just like, a lot of people don't get that. It's like, it's minimum wage is for the unskilled worker. Typically, your high school, college kid that's trying to make
it's while you're getting
some
ready for
extra
your
cash.
real
real
career.
job.
That's what it's for.
Yeah.
It just pays you while you're living at home.
Yeah.
You have some beater car that you own because your parents bought a $2,000 thing for it. Like, you don't have real bills and responsibilities, so that's why you can make no money, because
Yeah.
you don't really need that much.
Funny story. One of my aunts actually bought her first vehicle. It was a truck, and she bought it for $12. and it was you always sat in the truck with a bungee cord going across from door to door to hold the doors together. And so this is like 60s, 70s era. And she sold the truck when she was done with it for $13. So yeah, it's like I just said when you said that you beat her car, that reminded me of that story.
But that's like,
And that's what it is,
all had
and
one.
it sucks because you have the most unskilled drivers driving the worst cars on the road, and that sucks. But that's life. That's what happens.
we all, well, I guess not now, but yeah, we all went through it. Like, all of us had that dumpy car that just shook when he went on the highway.
Yeah.
Oldsmobiles.
Yeah.
My grandmother and I had the same car. Mine was tan. It was an Oldsmobile Sierra. She had the navy blue, and I had the tan one. That's what I had to go to high school with. And when you hit 62, the whole dashboard just. I was like, cool. That's a lot of fun.
I had a forest green Dodge Caravan.
Oh, I
It
had
was
a
nicknamed the Beast.
I had a
Ironically nicknamed.
I had a tan wood grain on the side
Beautiful.
Dodge Caravan luxury edition, had the
Oh,
temperature,
luxury edition.
had the temperature. We called it the beaver whack.
The beaver wagon.
Now, Kim, see, the joke there is.
Oh, Kimberly, we're gonna have we're definitely gonna have Steve on. I don't know if she'll come on. That'd be great to have her there too.
Well, she not do this? Is she gonna? As soon as she sees a microphone, goes.
I don't know. I don't know if she's been tested. So we'll
"Oh,
see.
Throw it right in.
She did say she DJ'd your wedding.
Yes,
No,
her and Steve did.
Yeah, Steve.
Steve did.
She was there.
She's become quite the assistant for Steve.
Oh.
All right.
I do remember her being there. Yeah, they were. They're so good at that. Like, just
Yeah.
the energy they bring. It doesn't seem like hacky. Because a lot of times when you get those DJs, there's that like, ooh, please don't. You don't need to do the like, hey everybody, get on the floor. It's like, we don't need that. No one thinks you're genuine, and they don't do it. And it's like they show up and they party with you, and it
Yeah.
feels real and like,
Yeah,
it doesn't
yeah.
feel
It's-
forced
yeah.
by them.
Yep.
I loved it.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
they did
he's awesome.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he was on one of the pre-recorded episodes
Oh,
during the culmination. Did I say that right? Culmination of this podcast.
you did. My God, it's like
3 for 3. I mean,
We're getting this. Oh, I'm just getting lucky.
this is. Oh God, you're on fire.
Yeah, so he was here, and he's one of the pre-recorded that we never got published, and I just systematically have all of those guys back because they were great. So Steve Gilbo is one of them. We recently had the lender,
Oh yeah, Stevens Lending.
Stevens Lending, and Kayla on, and yeah, so and we got to get like Ed Peach back on and a bunch of them. So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's been a ride. Not as bad as yours.
you know. Have any of you guys done broadcasting at all? Like
No.
prior to this is the
Nothing.
first thing?
Yeah,
No kidding.
So one time when the
at Bandcamp.
yeah, when they had the one of the first or second Razzle Dazzle light parade in Putnam, there was somebody going around with video camera, to each float and saying, "Why don't you say Happy Holidays and we'll put this on?" I don't know where they put it on. It was kind of before the real internet boom of
We know you.
videos and
We
stuff
know
like
you're
that.
that old.
And so, for whatever reason, they all pointed at me for Woodstock Builders, and I did the Happy Holidays from everybody down here at WBA, and I got some compliments for it, but that was it. That was the only time I've ever really been like on camera.
No kidding.
So yeah,
And then you're like, well, time to go deep in the hole on audio
just
equipment.
jump in. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more of I can talk to people, so that's
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah, it's not that this cord costs $60. That's irrelevant. I don't think about that obsessively.
Yeah, yeah. Once we started spending money on it, it was like, yeah, it's gonna happen. It doesn't matter. It's
No, we're getting people here.
We're
Like, I
doing
don't-
this, and maybe we won't have any followers, but we're gonna keep doing
But
it.
yeah, I'm gonna justify the cost. You're gonna have a page. There's gonna be this. I want a microphone.
Yeah, we even when we're not live, we just sit here sometimes,
Yep.
and we still talk into the microphone and the yeah.
I mean, and when you guys weren't here, before I thought of having a podcast, and I was just a realtor, I'd sit here and talk to myself.
I feel like I'm in a room where something bad happened, but no one knows. Like a Buffalo Bill thing. So it's like, is there a well?
No, it's just where I draw my creative energy. I don't know if anybody believes in that, but that's around the workbench is where I've always drawn from that. So that's how that's how I started.
That is pretty
So
awesome.
When I converted to becoming a realtor, I found myself still pacing on the phone in this room rather than any other room in the house. It was just like in coming up with certain negotiation points and all that stuff. That's why I was like, oh, I got to keep doing something out of here. So and
That's great.
So
Yeah, it's just so good to see. Again, even just to circle back on that whole idea of just bring down commercial radio. It is it's so cool. But it's like that stuff right there. It's like there's so many people out there that they'll never have that big already like pre-established public platform because they're not either because it's not like talent's what gets hired. It's who do you know? That's so it's like even if I know people in it, you're never gonna be there. But also you don't want to be because all those creative ideas squashed immediately when you walk in there.
oh, okay.
It'll never grow. So it's just
Yeah.
so cool to see that you're like, screw it. We'll just start throwing money into putting equipment in and do it for whatever reason you do it for. But it's
Yeah.
just I love seeing it because I mean even with that stuff like I miss radio. I don't know why, but like just there was something miserable about getting up at 3 a.m. every day.
Oh, really? Getting up in the middle of the night is miserable?
God.
I would have never thought.
Fair point. All my friends are still on Xbox, and it's like 7. And I'm like, "Hey guys, I gotta go to bed." And they're like, "Just one more." And you're like, "Okay." 11:30. I'm like, "Oh damn it, again." But
Yeah.
like, it was just so fun. Being like, my job was to just hang out with my friend like this.
Yeah.
I used to get paid to do exactly this and that was so wild. And then every now and again, when there's a big concert, we would just go backstage, and that was my job, was to
Right.
like, hey, Kenny Chesney, I'm Adam, what's up? And he's like, cool. I'm like,
Yeah.
thanks. I like blue chair rum. Like,
Yeah.
it was just so wild to think that you can get paid garbage money to do that. And I miss it every day. But at the same time, I'm like, good, because
Yeah.
this would never.
Yeah.
Well, now you can get paid even less if you want to come on to work.
No, you give me a beer. That was, what was it, $4 probably for that can. So I'll take that. It's a write-off.
Yeah, we do tell everybody it's free to come on, so
Yeah,
they,
and
they
that's-
fully know.
And that's something we definitely decided, or I even decided a long time ago, that like every interview would be free in both directions. I'm not paying for an interview, and I wouldn't charge anybody to come on the platform. I'll charge for like maybe a live read or some sort of
Good plug.
advertisement, I'm trying. And if you had a video that you wanted, we could play that in the beginning and stuff like that, and we wouldn't charge a setup fee for that. Just saying. But yeah, the interviews, this is so worth it just to have this conversation.
Yeah, it's
to
a
me.
great thing, especially local stuff like this. Again, it's
Yeah.
it's so talked about, I think, in this community, and it's pushed. But there are times where I look around, and I'm like, oh, you're just saying it because it's a thing to say. You don't really, you don't live the talk. You just say it because if you don't, everyone's gonna look at you and go, oh, really? So it's good to see things like this kind of coming up in the area and just being like, no, I'm just here to kind of just hang and
Yeah.
talk about your thing, and then
Yeah.
in between it, we'll just talk about how creepy we are, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, you took the words right out
Yeah,
of my mouth.
and then just awkwardly circle back to like, so you have a business. But what's your address again? Shoe size? I knew you knew. But yeah, it's great. I love seeing it, and again, just even like again from radio to this, I love seeing like things like this popping up. It's so cool.
We're trying.
Yeah.
We're trying. And just to awkwardly circle back, in the second location, will there be? Is it better set up for live music or performances?
Oh,
I
yes.
feel like you had a comedy show
I did
for some
actually.
reason.
Yes.
Isn't it like?
So Cody Burnett is a
yeah,
local
Amy's
guy.
son. He's awesome. Yep.
Love him.
Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
He recorded an hour special at Chubb's, and I was actually away, which really annoyed me because I'd already. I do lightsaber combat.
It's
But
funny,
every girl
but
does
I'm
when I say this, by the way.
I'm laughing, but mostly because I'm not surprised.
Thank you. I agree. It's like if fencing and martial arts met Star Wars. So it's
Weird, because
fact
I've
that I
never
have
seen
a
a
wife-
lightsaber anywhere else.
never. And I mean like real metal hilts, these like thick plastic blades. It's awesome. You just beat the hell out of your friends, and first to 10 wins. It rules. So I was in Maryland for a tournament, and he was doing it, and I wanted to see it so bad because I knew. I kind of went over some of his like material with him, and just I didn't help him, but like he was like just rolling it with me just to like say, oh, I'm gonna do this and this, and then because he thought I was gonna like say you can't say this here, and I was like, no, dude,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
So-
I'm getting that that vibe that you don't care about censorship.
I tried to ask you guys up front, like radio rules, or can I say the F-bomb?
Yeah,
Because
we're trying to be PG-13.
Jen did not get a single shot in tonight. So I was watching him on the cameras, and just I was dying because there were a couple of jokes that I think what the audience missed, but I laughed because the awkward response they gave him. I thought the joke itself was funny, but I knew as soon as he made the joke, I was like, no one's gonna laugh at this because even if they think it's funny, they're gonna look around first and go, that's not. We don't say a joke. No, that's not funny. I'm just in a hotel room and like in their crappy robe, just like yeah. So yeah, he filmed an hour special with another little local group called Off Camera Productions, and they put out an hour special, and he's got it on his website. And
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I think he sells it for it's like $5, maybe something like that.
You sell it at
Yeah.
Chubby Dog?
I don't. It's only a digital copy.
It's just a
Oh,
digital
Like,
thing.
yeah. But I think either all or a portion of it goes to like autism
Oh,
research,
that's cool.
stuff like that.
nice.
So yeah, it's a really cool thing. But again, he's just been coming there since I pretty much took over, and
Yeah.
we just hit it off, just making dirty jokes in the game room, and he was I was like, yeah, sure, do it here. I
Yeah.
don't know where you're gonna do it, but set it up, do what you want to do, and he made it work, and it looked awesome. So I was thrilled about that. But the new space does have a stage already kind of built into the space.
Nice.
Those big bay windows that are looking
Yeah.
at Main Street.
Yeah.
There's like a probably 5 foot or so stage sticking out of it already.
Oh, that's
So yeah, once we start getting booze, we're gonna start trying to get some.
You gonna have
local
some live acts like regularly or try to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever wants to. I can't. I'm poor. So I want to support.
I think we
local.
covered that.
Yeah, I just want to really reiterate. One bucket. One. But I do want to. I'm still gonna try to pay local acts.
Yeah.
If it's a cover chart, whatever I gotta do.
Right.
But just something. It won't be big numbers, but just to get those.
Yeah, you work
Yeah,
on tips,
and
right? I mean, that's like a
It
big
can work
thing.
for tips. And,
Yeah, I always feel bad. It's
Yeah.
like you have a talent that I never will, and you should get something more than an open tab at
Yeah.
my
Right.
little
Yeah, but
coffee shop. Like,
most people will at least record or take pictures and
Oh,
put on
yeah.
their Facebook, and they get exposure that way and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And then, I think everyone's got to start somewhere. Why can't it be the start, for them?
well, that's what
at your
I'm like.
place?
The
that
Beatles
kind
once
of-
didn't get paid, so I don't know. Do you think you're John Lennon? I didn't think so. Get up there. Just really start guilting them into it. Taylor Swift once only had her mom watching, so. But yeah, that place is gonna be really cool for live entertainment. Eventually, and even with Cody or other comics, I'd love to have stuff like that
Yeah.
there. Band,
Yeah.
it's a great spot for that. It's got a huge open area right in front of it, so if people want to dance, they can get all drunk and weird out there.
Will you have a curfew in Danielson?
Probably.
There's
Not
a
there
curfew
yet.
in Danielson?
No, I was asking.
Oh.
I haven't gotten that far yet. I don't know my address is
Like-
technically.
Yeah, but
So-
neither
feel like
did the
there's
post
bar-
office. So
No, I think they did. They're the one that were like, well, no, that's true. They just didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
I would imagine 2 I think 2 is the.
Yeah, this bar's open
Connecticut.
until 2 in Danielson.
Well, I didn't know because I know some of the ones in Putnam.
Yeah,
they...
you go to bed at 7. So.
No. That was neither here nor there.
I
If
mean,
he
it's at
has
least-
live music, I will go,
For 10 minutes.
Yeah.
but I'll tip
He'll
heavily.
see the opening band that starts at 6. And they're
That's right.
really good.
Yeah, and you offer like half-price appetizers for early birds.
Yes. Oh, you would like some barbecue? Okay, it's only $10 because this is from yesterday.
Half price on day old sushi.
Oh,
But yeah, I'm
God.
pretty stoked for that. That's going to be a big difference of
Yeah.
the 2. Will be for sure that. Probably just the weekends, I would
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
Open later too, obviously.
Oh yeah.
And you can advertise on our weekly reminder.
Didn't you hear him? He doesn't have any money.
I wasn't going to charge him a lot.
I have
But
a
we
bucket.
can plug events. We got buckets too.
We do work for Open Tabs.
Yeah.
2 can limit, just so we're aware. There's rules. I mean, I would love to even just have a live recording of podcasts. I think that'd be. I thought about doing it at Chubb's and Yellow.
You know, a lot of people are asking.
I know.
Did these come right out? How important is all
It's
this?
been one of the biggest hurdles. We barely make this show work from here, where it sits all the time. And I'd love to go on location and do this exact thing, but it's just like we have such a hard time. We have to refine this to a point where we're good, and then I feel like we'd have to buy more equipment to go.
We have
on
some. We
location.
have a device that we can try and
Yeah, if
use,
it-
and we
if
don't.
it
We don't.
works.
We haven't really experimented with.
Thank you to Bodyworks Massage in Brooklyn.
Yes,
The-
Leanne and her husband.
Yeah, gave us-
donated a. It's called a YOLO Live. I don't know if you've
Yeah.
ever seen it. So it's basically like it's like this switcher,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more digital. So it's like
It's
the
a
size of an
screen.
iPad.
Yeah.
Can handle 3 cameras. I think it has 2 mic imports, but you could use the mixer. But you can do everything right from it. So you can go
Yeah.
live on Facebook, go live on YouTube, all right from. But it's mobile. So
Right.
Yeah.
really, we would just require a lot better Wi-Fi than he has.
Yes, we are at the end of a circuit from Charter. That Spectrum told me that. Like, oh, you're always gonna have terrible Wi-Fi. I was like, oh, good.
We actually
Even-
tied the rope around a tree. The cable's out there, so you do qualify. But
Some
Yeah.
nights that's how we feel.
but it works. My wife works from home. She's like, I never have a problem. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but I don't either when I work from home, and we don't have
But
problems
you're on Route
streaming.
6. You're on like a main route.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have a problem streaming. And that's my point. Is like we
do.
We only. Oh, you do.
Yeah. When
Oh.
we go to, like, sometimes you hit the Hulu button or whatever, and it like
Just goes.
doesn't come on. And you're like waiting. The circle keeps going, and then it's usually got to shut everything off and turn it back on, and then it'll usually.
Some guy from
Wake
Charter
up.
calls him and
Wake
goes,
up and
"Hey,
go.
we told you. You're at the end of the road."
No, they don't care.
Fair point.
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is. It works. We haven't gotten knocked off of the Wi-Fi yet.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we have talked about. Other people have talked about us
Yeah.
coming and doing like a live.
Yeah, like doing grand openings for businesses and stuff, and I would love to do that, but that also, like, this is a hobby. So far, I've been able to take Monday nights and the occasional Saturday to do podcasting, and it's just like, now we have, if we're gonna go to like 2-hour podcast at a location, then it's like,
Oh, it's a lot.
you're really not like right now my wife's in Florida, so like, we have other family members taking care of the kids while we're here,
True.
so it's like it is still a hobby unless someone wants to advertise.
Then we become a professional.
And start the revenue coming in, but otherwise it's just a fun hobby.
Yeah,
Right.
and it can be a pain. We used to do it for the radio stations, but it was all pre-taped. We never did we did a few live on locations when I was like with bigger markets, but smaller markets, it was all pre-taped. It was just bring stuff, record it, edit it, and then we'll upload it digitally later. That's all
Right,
it was. So
yeah.
it was,
Yeah. See, we're not great at the editing, so we.
Yeah, we're definitely not editing.
never mind then.
If we
we don't
can't
want to do that route.
If we can't do
Edit
it,
heavy.
if we have to do editing, we're not doing it. But yeah, if we could do this on location, we would try for sure. And then there's the question: do we charge to leave the studio? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh yeah. The amount of setup alone,
Yeah,
that is
I
worth
get it.
at
I get it.
least
But
$20.
Not to
My-
mention, I guarantee a lot will go wrong when we're not in here.
well,
Even worse.
that's where my hang up is if we charge somebody and we get on location and something screws up, then like,
we just can't spend the money until it's over. We can give it.
oh, just give it back, and then like, oh,
No,
sorry, you
I-
know how you were gonna have this big booming opening?
Big booming.
Oh, we-
What are you promising?
So what can you do for Chubby Dog to do? From what I'm hearing, I'm buying buckets tonight because this is great.
We're honest, just like you. were.
Yeah, we're just honest, and we want to put out a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not-
I want to
not
show up and
some-
help, but I'm gonna bomb. Ugh.
I mean, if people are drawn to train wrecks, so
True. So honestly,
That's a good point.
just show up.
Yeah, hire your traveling train wreck here at the community workbench.
you are on fire tonight. With
We promise to
everything.
show up and just be horrible.
Might I remind you, any press is good press.
That's right. And no refunds. That's a big thing. No refunds.
Oh, you are so cold. But yes, no refunds.
Yeah, it's deposited. We
I'll double down.
ship it.
So funny thing is, I found out earlier today that I was actually in Chubby Dog with my wife and my kids a year ago today, and I also learned something new about my wife that I didn't know. So do you remember that?
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. Was that her?
Yeah. So I didn't even know she could do it. So we were in there and we're playing games with the kids and stuff, and she's just like at the table with she goes, oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. Those things are hard.
You're just doing that weird thing we all do. We're like,
I've
"Well, this is
never
something."
been good at even drawing a square.
Nope.
So okay. And then 45 minutes later, like, oh, you ready to leave? And she shows me that. I was like, oh, you have to just put that on a shelf and just let them find it.
Oh,
And then later that night,
Sure did.
you posted that.
Yeah, I did.
And oh my gosh, she was so excited. So then she bought like Etch a Sketches. She's like, I wanna make one for him to give to him. but she never got around to it. But then we were in there again a couple months ago, and she made that one.
She did the second one too.
Yeah, yeah. So she,
So cool.
I just don't get how she did that.
Yeah.
yeah,
With
I-
just the X and Y,
Like,
it's so
it's-
rudimentary.
yeah.
And it's
yeah, it's insane.
incredible.
So we have a gift for you.
No way.
Yeah.
She did do one.
Yeah. So
Be funny if it just says Ben's beans was better.
I'll show them. I don't know if they'll be able to see it.
I see
But-
your reflection.
I want.
So that's
I just my big dumb head.
that's a gift for you. Don't shake it.
I'm gonna be so upset if I do.
So you can put that wherever you want.
Dude, how?
Put it up on a shelf, whatever. We thought you could display it. I really don't know how long they will last when they are standing up. Like how the magnets. I have no idea.
Do they expire? Do
I have-
magnets expire?
I have no idea. But
Take a picture of it.
yeah, you can.
Fair point.
I thought you could put it
I'll
up
take
in the
one
new
right now.
location or whatever you want to do. But it's yours.
That is insane.
Put it wherever you want.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by anyone. Like I said, they can even make a square.
Yeah.
I still don't know what goes. Oh, these ones cheat. These actually tell you what dials go up and down. That's the old ones don't have the arrows to tell you like, oh, this side goes up and down.
This side goes side to side.
Dude, that is amazing.
Yeah, so what she has drawn for those just listening, and I don't know if
Oh
we can
yeah,
get that
I don't even
one
know
on.
what camera. to put
It's
that.
this one, but hold
it's the
Here, let's-
Chubby Dog.
I gotta take a picture first. Or I'm
sign.
gonna screw it up.
Yeah, it's Chubby Dog logo, Chubby Dog Coffee Company.
Bella's little face on it.
Oh, so that's a good point. Good thing to bring up.
The dog.
The dog.
So the dog, her name was Bella.
Yeah.
Apparently, her spirit is here, turning on and off your lights.
No, that's my kids. Like, they're home, I think.
Is that the 10-minute warning?
Well, actually, what time is it?
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, we fit our record.
Dude,
It is only 8:08.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Boy,
sure
you
my mom is
ramble
just
on.
bringing them home to put them to bed.
Sure. Yeah, so Bella was a pitty. She was a rescue pitty. I got her at NECOG right here in, well, not here, but in Killingly.
Yeah.
When I was still living in Maine, I had my ex-fiance at the time. We'd moved away together. She was just a horrible human, and so I booted her out. And so I had no friends. I was working one night a week at the radio station overnights, so I knew nobody. And so I guilted my landlords into letting me get a dog. I used to volunteer at NECOG, so I wanted to go back specifically there because I knew they had a lot of pitties, and I wanted a pitty because everyone hates on pitties, and I was like, I'll get one. It can't be real, and it wasn't. She was the greatest. She was a bait dog, so in dog fighting, they typically don't fight the females. They use them like punching bags, so they train the male dogs to attack.
Oh,
Oh God.
Yeah, she had a horrible first few years. Rescued her when she was 5, and she died December 10th of 21. She had cancer of the spleen and the heart, and so she had to get put down one night. She was not doing well.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it sucked. But she's the logo. That's her characterized. She was just this big chunky pitty with no teeth, horrible farts, and but she wasn't. It took her a while to warm up to dogs, but because every dog she's ever encountered prior to
Right.
me you would attack her. So
Right.
understandable. It was a rough start, but we got her to a point where she was good with a few dogs. And
Nice.
she-
That's a lot of work. I've trained
it
dogs.
was.
I
It
have my
sucked.
2 dogs here you've seen, and just to train any early learned
Mhm.
trait out of a dog is
Oof.
so hard.
so rough.
And kudos to you for giving her that
She was the
amazing
greatest.
second half of her life.
And my
So,
landlords loved her. Just this
Yeah.
old Russian couple that could barely speak English, but man, did they love Bella so
Nice.
much. So yeah, she had a great life. So she was the inspiration because she was fat because I loved her. She got a lot of food, so she became everything about the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome having her around. I miss her every day.
Nice.
But she has a legacy now. You know,
Yeah.
her,
Yep.
her second shop's opening up, and it's for her. And
Is that gonna be still called Chubby Dog? I know you posted some
Yep.
stuff. Chubby Dog 2.0.
So it is. It's a separate LLC for just legal protection.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
Right.
So it'll be called Chubby Dog Gaming Bar.
Oh, okay.
But still,
Yeah.
Still chubby dog.
still me, still our coffee. It's all everything's from a customer perspective. Same thing.
Mhm.
All the backdoor stuff is different. Just again, legal protections and all that.
Now, are you gonna have a separate social media for it? Are you gonna do it all through Chubby
I'm
Dog?
sure. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna
Yeah.
keep the one because
Yeah.
I already post crap
Right.
for this one on the one I have. So I'm like, if I switch it up, then
You have
all
to
of a sudden,
You don't have to justify it with us. We have now the community workbench. I have Matt Noren, Remax Bell Park. I have Matt Noren. And just running all that social media is
It's not fun.
It's
No.
such a bear. Like when I heard and saw that cross posting was a thing. I was like, "Oh, we're clicking that button. We are clicking that. Click it right away." Just like,
give me an go, flick. Wow.
yeah. So no, I get it. The social media thing is definitely certain parts that are amazing, and then there are certain parts that are just
It's a necessity.
yeah,
I
it's a
hate that it
necessity.
is.
Yeah.
If I could just go dark, oh, would I ever?
Well,
But you can't.
In today's world, you can't. I mean, I find out everything that you're doing because of that, right?
That's- yeah.
And that's how it became the news for our generation,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so for businesses, it's a free way to get traction to get customers in the door.
And just to know what works. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
without even meaning to, people will just tell you that they like something by how much they engage with the video, what the content of the video is. Then you can, from that, you can go like, okay, well, these videos are similar, but this one had this content, this one had this content, but this one got a lot more traction. So it must be the thing I talked about. So then you can start working that product, whatever it was, you can start to really push more and more on social. And then when people come in, you can put signs up that say, hey, by the way, we have boba. And then everyone under the age of 12 is like, I love boba, and they come and get it.
Sounds like we need a social media class from him.
I learned all this because all the young people that come to work for me, they're the
They
ones
do
that
it,
I
yeah.
don't do TikTok. I hate it. I just assume you dance, you jump, and then when you land, you change outfits, and that's all I know about it. And like whenever I do post things that I don't ask them any questions of, as soon as I see them for the first time, they give me that look of just like, ugh, you old person. I'm like, yeah, I am. You're right. I hate you and I hate your generation. So how
Actually,
about them? Apples?
If you like Power Rangers, aren't you younger than us?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to be.
I am. That's right.
He's still in his 30s though,
Sure
which
am.
is, and he's referencing TikTok, which is a 25-year-old's game.
Yeah.
Well,
But
he referenced it that he was too old for it.
Right. So he's
I-
in his 30s.
I do technically have one for Chubby Dog. We do have one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Not few know about it, and one,
I have TikTok to only follow my kids to make sure I see what they post, and it's annoying. Not what they post.
no
well,
TikTok in general.
Yeah, that's like an evil.
Oh, yeah. I
That's-
don't. I just find it boring. Because most of it, if you notice, it's all like recycled audio
Yeah.
from anything that we grew up with.
Right,
But just like
yeah.
someone just
I
mouth.
would like to say right, like I'm agreeing with you 'cause I'm sure it's true, but like
You
I don't have TikTok. I've never been on it.
be that. Just keep it
And
that way.
well, and I have an excuse. Like my license prohibits that because when you download their app and you agree to their terms and service, the app gets full reign over your emails and everything else on your phone.
oh.
And my emails are confidential because realtor. So my
No
license
kidding.
literally prohibits an app like that. And
Just consider yourself lucky. You are missing nothing.
and yeah, so I know other realtors do it, but I'm like, I don't have to do it. It's
for you,
really
man.
kind of how it goes, but
I never even thought of it.
I'm like, and I'm scared to death because I'm not a tech guy, so it's like, they're gonna steal everything.
Yeah.
No, you would probably
gonna
more
take everything.
accidentally post something that's
Yeah.
very incriminating or something.
Somebody asked me for my social on here, so I just thought I'd post a picture of my social.
Oh, I have a security tech friend that when I call him, he's like, "What'd you do now?"
It's not even hello anymore.
I
Just like, what?
swear, I looked legit to me. Say, I'll be over in an hour. Don't touch your computer.
Oh, the mouse is moving by itself. That's good, right? Yes. Definitely yes.
Yeah, so that's how, and it's to me some of the times where you're like in awe of, like we actually launched the podcast with my brain.
It's
My tech.
still mine, but I do feel like the polished product we put out, I've had something to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, I've already said it. Like we can't do this without Kyle anymore. This is like how it is.
And those Google questions, man. Oh, what? How do I plug in this cable to that device?
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Oh, trust me, we Googled a lot of why won't this work when we do this?
Yeah. Yeah. The tears were real though.
Is the power on? Like, damn it! I didn't think of that.
Oh yeah. Like everything first prompts you. Well, shut it all off and turn it back on. It's like,
Is the product
I
plugged in?
did all the dumb guy stuff.
God, don't you ever get like when you call up tech service and they go through those questions? Like, I did whatever your script asks. I did those. I know the routine. Get to the real
Yeah, but
stuff.
We've been here before.
Yeah.
They just ask you to do them again. I went through this with my camera. They're like, well, we have to start at step 1. And I'm like,
Toledo.
but this is my 5 call, and
This
you can
is-
see that
Yeah.
all of them are documented.
And they say it's being recorded for training purposes and whatnot, but I know they're having a laugh.
Oh, yeah.
I know they're having a laugh.
It's on the internet like we are somewhere, and somebody's laughing at
I
it.
told him to unplug it. He didn't know where the was. But it does. Yes, sir. I'm still here.
I remember when we got our first desktop, and I was young, and it was like, Bill Gates was just starting to let us all have it. And there was like this spot where they had stories of tech support. It must have been on the internet. My dad, I remember him reading some of them to us where like they had the larger floppy disk and the smaller floppy disk for the first computers. And a woman literally talked about cutting the big floppy disk to put it in the small disk.
God.
And I always remember, I'm like, wow, if my dad didn't tell me that story, that would have been me.
That would have been one, definitely.
Like, that's a carpenter mind right there. Well, it doesn't fit. Well, we got to cut it again.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, that's where we're at.
We have a podcast studio, man.
Yeah.
To think you would have cut discs. And you're like, no, I'm gonna go to Best Buy because I'm gonna have a podcast studio one day.
Best Buy. I didn't even think of that.
That's because we live in nowhere and nothing's close to us.
That is true.
Amazon drops it on your doorstep.
Oh,
Is
so true.
Savage Systems still a place? Is they still going on?
You told me numerous times you're going to call them, but we've never got results.
We got to call them and see if we're doing it right.
It is,
We're not,
It's
but
probably a
No,
more
no,
efficient way
Kim was
to do
listening,
this.
so you are live. You're on the
we
air.
are a pioneer in the way this podcast is put on.
Adam, it has been awesome. Is there anything else besides 164 Main Street, Putnam, Connecticut, and 144 Main Street, Danielson, Connecticut?
Asterisk. No, that's those
Why,
are
you're not on
places-
steroids? That's a sports reference.
Those records still stand. They all went out of the park. No, that's the 164 Putnam is the one that's currently open. Hoping for Danielson soon.
Yep.
Every
March.
day.
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Social media be the best place to.
Updates constantly.
Yeah.
You'll know when I'm open. I assure you
Yeah.
when it happens. But yeah, we're open every single day in Putnam at 7 a.m. We are open late Thursdays for Nerd Night. Friday, we host a Magic the Gathering draft tournament. So if you're a Magic geek and you play, we have a weekly draft tournament there. D&D's every Saturday starting at noon. Pretty much till we close around 5. So if you're in a D&D, or even if you're not, they're very much into teaching. These guys are phenomenal at it, so they'll teach you how to play D&D, create a character. You can learn from knowing nothing every Saturday at Chubb's in Putnam. So
Awesome.
yeah, come hang out and buy a $1.50 soda and spend 5 hours there. It's a great place. It really is.
I will say every time, especially Fire and Ice in the morning when we're setting up, I always go in and get a mocha. I don't know why. When I walk in there, I'm like, there's a lot of stuff to select from, but I'm like, I'll just
Chocolate and coffee.
Get
It's
the
just-
mocha. I'm a chocolate fiend.
It does
so.
what it does.
Yep.
It hits And
Yeah.
yeah, when you got to just haul 80-pound wooden tables around all morning.
Yeah.
It's
I don't know if they're that heavy, but anyway, don't give me
Yeah,
that much
yeah, no,
credit.
you're-
Don't give me that much credit.
I know why that sweatshirt's on, sir. You need to show them
Yeah,
how
I
far
bought
down.
it extra small. Make it look ripped.
Are those seams tearing? Oh, sure.
Yeah, I used my wife's seam ripper in the craft room next door.
That's next to those pink 5-pound weights, right?
Shoot, we're still live. Yeah, so awesome what you've done. I love
Oh, thank
I
you.
love the origin story, the journey that you've taken so far, and I implore anybody. Did I say that right?
God,
Big words.
this
Is this normal?
you need to drink this much
All right,
every
all right,
day.
all right.
This is
He becomes
incredible.
a real linguist after 2 or 3 of them.
Linguist.
So
That's
I-
a good word.
Yeah. I implore anyone to frequent the local coffee shop named the Chubby Dog Coffee Company. Did I
He
say
says,
that?
he says big words
Yeah,
correctly.
He's running out of
Chubby
words.
Dog Coffee Company.
Ah,
All
yes,
right.
Indubitably.
Indubitably. And the rest of the community workbench family wants to remind everyone of our Valentine's Day season Spread the Love food drive campaign. If you can, consider donating foods and other goods to Brooklyn Cares Community Center, Friends of Assisi Food Pantry in Danielson, The Daily Bread in Putnam, Teague and Thompson, Project Pin in Moosup, the 2 Willimantic Food Kitchens, and give it a Google for wherever you are. I'm sure there's a food pantry that's accepting donations near you. What else? Yeah. Let's not let Eastern Connecticut go hungry. All right. So during these lean months, definitely do what you can to spread the love. Thanks for watching, everybody. Join us Monday, March 4th at 6 p.m. when we interview American Legion Ambulance Chief of Service and First Responder Paramedic Will Jeffs. That'll be fun. I guarantee it. I've known him for years. I can't wait. And as always, buy local, hire local, dine local, volunteer local, and donate local. Have great days, everybody.
Bye.